All right, we are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June 30th, 2026 special meeting of the Litchfield School Board. We were waiting for a quorum to join this tonight, so we're starting a few minutes late. The time is now 5:54. We're going to call the meeting to order and begin with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we definitely have some board members that are missing this evening. Mr. Peoples may be joining remotely, so if that happens, we do have a meet up, and so if that happens, we will have to allow remote participation, and then at that point, all votes that we action tonight will be roll call vote. Any changes to tonight's agenda?
No.
Anything off consent this evening? All right, moving right along. We have summary of non-public actions from our June 10th, 2026 meeting. Mr. DeWitt moved to approve the May 20th, 2026 non-public meeting minutes. Mr. Cutter seconded that motion. That passed 3-0. Mr. Cutter moved to approve the nomination of Mark Hall as LMS education teacher. Mr. DeWitt seconded that motion. That passed 3-0. Mr. Cutter moved to approve the nomination of Sarah Vassell as GMS school nurse. Mr. DeWitt seconded that motion. That carried 3-0. Mr. Cutter moved to approve the nomination of Zachary Hurley as district facilities director. Mr. DeWitt seconded that motion. That carried 3-0. Mr. Cutter moved to approve the nomination of Joanna Marcotte as CHS science teacher. Mr. DeWitt seconded that motion. That carried 3-0. Mr. Cutter moved to approve the resignation of Terrence Staples as CHS social worker. Mr. DeWitt seconded that motion. That motion carried 3-0 as well. We're going to move right into our community comment on agenda items. This is the first of two this evening. Since there's no community joining us at the moment, we're going to close community comment. And again, there's a second opportunity a little bit later this evening.
I'm assuming this is Ray. Mr. Peoples, you there?
Yes, I am.
That's right?
That's right, yep.
Okay. So
Motion to approve remote participation.
we have a motion by Mr. Shoemaker, second by Mr. Plansky to allow remote participation. Mr. Peoples, if you can hear us, if you could just share why you're remote this evening, and if anybody's with you.
Ray, you there?
All right, I can share. Mr. Peoples is traveling. I know he just landed at Logan Airport. There are people with him because he's at an airport, but he's going to do his best to participate because tonight's meeting is largely encumbrances, and he understood the importance and wanted to join in. Mr. Shoemaker?
Aye.
I am an aye.
Aye.
Mr. Clancy is an aye. That carries 3-0. All votes this evening from this point forward will be roll call vote. All right, we'll turn it over to correspondence. Mr. Clancy?
Oh, there's only very little correspondence since the school year ended. Just Ann supplied us with a couple of manifests on the 25th, and then we got the agenda for this meeting on the 29th from Renee Burgess. Those are the only two items.
Great, thank you very much. All right, moving right along, we're going to get right over to the superintendent and talk about end-of-year encumbrances.
Yep, I just gotta find it again. Disappear. I apologize. Managing Google Meet and this. All right, so want to talk about end of the year encumbrances. I'm going to put on the big screen kind of our rolling kind of chart that we use at the end of the year to keep track of this. Actually, before I do that. All right. Currently, we have about, as of right now, June 30th, 5 o'clock when we left the office, we have $1.3 million remaining from fiscal year 26. So we're finishing fiscal year 26 today. And this is our best estimate For those at home, this does change. We still have bills that we pay throughout the month of July as things wrap up and different things work on the fiscal year. This is normal every single year. This is just part of it. Like, while our fiscal year ends today, if something happened today and we had to pay a bill for it,
To the board.
then we need to pay for it out of this year's budget and stuff like that. So and we've done most of our stuff. Last year in our July period of time, we spent between $100,000 and $200,000, depending on specifics. We've worked really hard to do a bunch of stuff before today, so this could be the most accurate number as possible. But we will spend a little bit to pay off some remaining bills once we get them for June services. So we're at $1.3 million. We're very comfortable and pleased with this number for a couple of reasons. One, we always want to underspend our budget. This is important. We can't come back and ask for additional money. So we need to make sure, as we manage everything throughout the year, that we're not overspending any of our lines. We have 1,000+ lines, almost 2,000 lines that we deal with. We want to make sure that we're not overspending those as much as possible. So always the goal should be to have money remaining at the end of the year. We've seen other school districts that don't do that. They have to have special meetings. They have to be bailed out by the state, whatever the case may be. We're not looking to do that. This budget was set, not even this past fall, but the fall before, and it's a default budget. So this is the budget that we're using this current year for fiscal year 26, was the default budget, which is set by the previous year and legal responsibilities, whatever's in a collective bargaining agreement, and other things that aren't one-time expenditures. So that's the budget we were operating in. The bulk of this remaining money is money that was not spent on personnel. So we have a number of open positions. Paraprofessional is a position. If you follow along the school district, we are literally advertising for multiple paraprofessional positions all year long. We've had open custodial positions. We've had teaching positions open all year long. We filled one in particular. Teacher position was open until March, and then we finally found someone to take that position. So the bulk of this additional money is personnel. Now, we try to account for that in future years' budgets. So next year's budget, fiscal year 27, that's the budget we talked about back in this past fall. And if people can remember back this past fall, we had a bunch of cuts in our budget. Our budget is essentially flat from this year to next year. And we were able to do that because we reduced a bunch of personnel positions. I think there was 4 or 5 professional positions and then a number of support positions in there. So when we have open positions, we had a bunch of open positions that remained unfilled this year. That makes up some of the surplus. We then cut that in the next year's budget to show that, kind of follow that as we kind of go along. And we do that for a couple different reasons. One, we're trying to take a real good look at our personnel here to make sure we're properly staffed. In the 2 years we've been here, we've reduced by 19 positions since I've been here, and we haven't added any positions. But we want to approach those reductions in an empathetic way and try to limit costing people their jobs. So we try to wait and we try to go after open positions, so we're not always just getting rid of people, because that's just not proper. It's just not nice. I don't know how else to say that. So sometimes there's a little lag when we cut those positions. We're not filled a position, we cut it in the following year's budget, and you don't necessarily see it until the next year's budget where we've made that result. So this 1.3 number is aligned with what we were expecting when you factor in the cuts that we've already made for next year in regards to personnel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you for that explanation. So just to recap, right, this budget is the end of our today's the end of our fiscal year. Tomorrow begins our new fiscal year. The end of our fiscal year is a budget that went to the budget committee and went through vetting essentially 2 years ago at this point. During the last budget cycle, which went to vote this past March, we've already accounted for a number of those positions being reduced. So what we're seeing here out of this budget is essentially the $1.3 million balance, of which going into next year, we've already taken position reductions, which is going to reduce next year's budget by that amount, right? So we're starting off with this 1.3. We knew we were going to have a balance because of open positions. We've already proactively taken those reductions going into next year.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
So let's move into food service.
So food service, we're expecting about $100,000. This number could still change. We're still closing books on food services, one of the areas that we continue to close. We've talked about 90 being the number that we had. We are anticipating some additional revenues at the end of the year to be returned to us that.
I was going to say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, go for it. You know more than I do.
Well, I was gonna say, part of with food service too, is there were quite a bit of repairs this year too.
Yeah.
I just, so we definitely
That's
spent
true. We
more.
brought that freezer walk-in.
The walk-in, we had to have repaired a couple times. We had to replace the dishwasher at GMS, and in the meantime, had to purchase things to make it through, so.
So this was a little higher than what we wanted, but we're estimating it right now at about $100,000. We had talked about 90 previously, I think,
Yeah.
when we last were estimating.
I mean, not much we can do about this one. We have to close this one out, so.
Yeah, so we got to cover that. So transfer to capital projects, we don't have any transfers this year to anything in previous years that you've had this for?
Yeah, Fund 30s.
Yeah, Fund 30, so nothing there. Reserve these are the three warrant articles that passed this past March. So one was for the Capital Reserve Expenditure Trust Fund. This is, again, we're targeting the roof and et cetera at CHS for about 5 years from now. 2031 is the target. The transfer to employee benefits, this is to cover retirement retirement payments, and to give us a little buffer as we transition to self-insurance, right, in case something arose with that. And then the last one is a technology capital reserve that was approved by the warrants. This is to help with the rising kind of needs of technology in the district. And we've been very fortunate. Our tech director has been great, but I'm sure you've seen in your professions too, technology has exploded in costs, especially in the last 3-4 months. So it's nice that we have this kind of to fall back on. We have to fund these first before we do anything else with our end of the year balances. So that's why we listed them there.
Yep.
So food service and the warrants were at about 856.
Okay, so that's our starting point, is 856, 795, thereabouts.
Yep.
Okay, so the biggest priority the board has been talking about over the past several months at this point is addressing the LMS parking lot. We now have a secure quote from the paving company on what it is to address the parking lot. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. Julie's pulling it up. It's about $455,000, but we can type it.
455, 137.
Yes.
But just to take a step back for a second, though, so what necessitated that, just for anyone that hasn't been following, is not just us thinking to ourselves, hey, wouldn't it be nice to upgrade the parking lot? It was
Exactly.
a massive sinkhole that appeared
Yep.
that is temporarily fixed by filling it with gravel.
Yeah, there was a catastrophic failure at the LMS parking lot, and I'll use that term intentionally. There's a pipe that is 20 feet underneath the surface that has collapsed, and that runs the length of the parking lot property and then to the side of the LMS building itself. That entire pipe needs to be replaced. Because of that collapse of pipe, we're seeing the sinkholes. Manifest themselves. Therefore, the board took action to temporarily fill. Thankfully, to a local paving company, they filled that hole for us graciously. And now we're at a point of decision on what we're going to do with the parking lot itself, which is past its useful life.
But we were, incredibly lucky that just manifested itself on its own and not with a vehicle or a school bus falling.
It actually has manifested itself with a vehicle in years past.
And yeah,
Yeah, but liability wise, right? If a big enough sinkhole opened up and a car went into it, that would be huge
Yeah.
liability for the district.
Yeah.
So it really is something that we are.
I also don't think this is unexpected. It's been on the capital plan for the town for a
No,
number of
but
years.
sometimes people don't follow along, right?
Oh,
so
no, no,
like if they
yeah.
just are tuning in right now and they're like, oh, okay, you're gonna just decided to repave a parking lot.
Yeah.
Like that's not really how this manifested. So I just want to make sure we're clear on that. Sorry, so continue.
No, I was just saying, like, it's been on our capital plan. We had targeted 27 or 28 was kind of our hope that we could drag this out and maybe get another year or two out of it. We're not. Like, that hole was, and when they went down the fix, they said that pipe is just rotting through. Like, so you have to address.
so this is gonna fix all of the drainage at the parking lot. I know that
So
was a
this-
question that was I
Yeah,
was
this is gonna
asked.
fix the drainage. We are gonna bring it up to, make it handicap accessible, the parking lot and stuff like that. We are gonna repave, which is actually a minimal amount of this, but we're gonna repave the loop around, the building, the drop-off loop and stuff like that as part of this. Since we're doing all that work at that moment, it makes sense from just a planning purpose and financial and logistics standpoint. We are coordinating this with the town as well. They're gonna,
And who else are we coordinating it with?
Solar, yes.
Bad word.
We're all coordinating with solar, but we're coordinating with the town because they're gonna repave the road and redo the sidewalk right into Elmas there as
So
well.
I was also asked, is that gonna change the drop-off and pickup procedure?
It shouldn't. So there's, I can see where that question came up because there's some additional handicap spaces on the top
Top,
level,
yeah.
but it shouldn't drop, like, what could happen is someone could have to wait for the buses to go out in the morning or at the end if they want to park in those handicap spaces. But in terms of the daily operations of the loop, we'll still do parents and family drop off like around in the loop, and then the buses in front of the school. They're not changing the like space, and stuff like that. So those additional handicap spaces will be up on that top layer, but they're built into the grass, if that makes sense. They're not infringing.
Like in front of the
on
gym?
Yeah, or actually it's on the calf side.
Yeah, on the calf side, yeah.
Yeah. And they're not into the loop area, they're into the grass, if that makes sense visually.
Are they keeping, is the intention to keep that circle down at the end of the LMS?
The circle is there,
McElwain, isn't it?
yeah, because that's technically, I believe, Julie's right, it's part of the road, the circle.
Okay, all right.
It's like a turnaround for
Yeah.
the road. We are putting some additional spaces like back there, and paving it a little bit deeper towards the wooded area right there, which I think puts like 11 or 12 additional spaces in the back there, which will be nice, so.
Great, yeah,
Yep.
a little bit more parking for events is great.
Yeah.
So I think for board consideration, right, this needs to be, if we're going to proceed with this, and reading kind of the tea leaves, I think we all want to proceed with this. This will come out of our Fund 10 underspend in full for now, right? And the question becomes, we had our legal review impact fees, and we had town legal also opine on that as well. And both legal teams have agreed we are able to use impact fees for this project. So the legal fees for LMS are, Julie can quote me on this, somewhere in the ballpark of $250,000.
255, yeah.
$255,000.
fees?
Yes, $255,000, which we can use for this purpose. You can use some of it, you can use all of it, you can use none of it. It's a board decision. And that would essentially be credited back to the school district for essentially return to the taxpayers or whatever other purpose there is.
As underspend.
As underspend.
In the next fiscal year?
No, in this fiscal year.
Okay, so
There's not a requirement to do so, we could make that commitment, but that.
Right. I mean, so it could be used for other purposes. It could be used for whatever, right? It's money that comes back to the district from impact fees, then at the bottom line.
So, one thing I think that's important for us to look at, right? Like this is a big repair thing, right? And we're diligently planning another big repair thing that we're saving for, which is the roof. But if you think about it, right, this is one parking lot of 3 parking lots. The roof is one roof of 3 roofs, right? And it's going to take us a very, very long time to get to a place, we're working towards it, but it's going to take us a very long time to get to a place where we have enough money in reserves to really start to get ourselves in a good place to be able to have a just evening out tax impact and all that stuff. So I think as we're addressing these things, we should be, as we're doing, considering all of the other repair things, because the more that we knock off, the better footing we get ourselves on, which allows us to then budget lean, which is what the administration is trying to do. If we budget lean and we haven't addressed these things, we're just putting ourselves in a risky situation of facing these things without any way to pay for them.
Fully agree. Right? I think the other thing we need to consider at the board level is what else can we use impact fees for? And I say that because if you remember the conversations behind impact fees, I'll call it legacy. Legacy impact fees, in the way they were structured, is we have an account for GMS, we have an account for LMS, we have an account for CHS, and that was changed now a year or two ago to be all district, right? So we essentially have 4 accounts for impact fees. The $255,000 is in an LMS specific account. Any new impact fees collected from new developments are no longer going into an LMS specific account, they're going into an all district account.
So this is an opportunity to,
So the intention is what do we see on the horizon specific for LMS? Right, because that's the
Yeah.
intention and that's what we have to
Yeah.
use for this purpose.
I mean, I think that this is a very suitable purpose to be using this for. I mean, this is a big expense, and it's an absolute, we have no choice, like, this is an absolutely necessary expense. So my inclination would be to utilize it for that purpose.
What do you think?
I would agree. I guess the only question is, would we want to leave something in the account that's specific to LMS?
The only other,
I mean, we shouldn't have any major issues, although there is some issues with the school.
Because I have a wild idea and I don't know if it's.
I don't know. If it's the same idea, I'm thinking, I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff, look, there's 84,000 for bathrooms at LMS.
Well, I mean, look, so they have to be used for a specific purpose.
Right, bathrooms I don't think will cover.
I don't think it's because it has to be like, is there an opportunity to potentially figure out how we apply this to a solar payout?
Oh, that's not where I was going with it, but.
I don't know, would
Because
that fall in the same thing?
that could potentially really help us in a few years' time.
Yes, that was a question that was brought up, is we need to be prepared for was that at the budget committee
Correct,
meeting?
and this would give
How
us
do
a
we get
nice
ready?
nut to already be set aside for that purpose.
Can we take it, well, we wouldn't have to take it and put it in a solar fund, it could stay right in that account.
It could stay in that account and we
How
can,
long is it there for?
I don't think anything's expiring anytime
Okay,
soon.
good.
But yeah,
So,
the next thing that's expiring is a small amount of high school fees next year.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question, is does it
I
expire?
was gonna go gym floor, that's where it popped in my head. I just don't know if you can make an argument for expanded services.
So,
But it needs to be on the
the other question that I have, which probably isn't gonna be the popular one since no one else came up with this yet, but is, we had talked about, and this quote doesn't include it, but we had talked about the egress for that.
We asked, so the company that we got the quote from, we asked about an egress, and they said we were out there walking
Yeah,
the
yeah.
site, and he said between 350 to 400,000 easy for an egress route.
If we're at 250 of that money
Addition.
though. Right, but I'm saying if the impact fees are 250, is that what we said?
255.
255, we've offset potentially 2/3 of that.
Yeah, but I would be,
Would it be the same thing? Does it go to expansion or additional?
I mean, I think the
Well,
egress.
if it's
Oh, if it's in our fund, we can
if
do
it's in our,
it.
if it's approved for the parking lot, then it's approved for,
My concern is the way that we were talking about that quote, he threw out that number as like, this is a massive project that's gonna cost
Yeah.
a lot of money.
yeah.
And if we wanted to earmark that impact, if we didn't wanna use the impact fees for this right now, earmark that for an egress road down the road, okay. I don't know if I know 400,000 looks like a lot of money.
It does.
Yeah.
It's also not at the same time. Like, and I would hate for that egress road project to come in higher than that off-the-cuff estimate that he was giving us.
Right.
And now we're like, some more bills are trickling in, this is
But-
trickling in, and
but
we're
here-
caught in a
right,
tough spot.
right. No, I agree with that. I guess my only concern with leaving that aside is it potentially gets left aside forever, right? Like, and so it's just my thought was.
I don't disagree with you.
My
Yeah.
thought was, that is supposed to be there for safety reasons.
I think if you're leaving it there, you have to, and you can't predict future boards' actions, I understand that, but you kind of have to sit, like, earmark those impact fees for that egress road in the future.
My
And
plan
maybe
would
it's
be to be looking at that for now, like as a now type thing, as opposed to if we're not gonna action that ourselves, then I would just say we action the.
Well, I think it's something to
just
put
something
in
I
the
thought we
back
should
of your head. It didn't sound like, again, walking the site and like talking about these plans with the people we're gonna hopefully move forward with all of this. It sounds like it's not as simple as just adding the egress road. It's a completely different project. So like, there's not like an incentive for us to do it at the same time, because as he was saying, I have to bring in a completely new crew with completely new equipment to do that type of project. So like, I don't
Portion
think.
of the project. I mean,
That-
people
the
that are
egress
pa-
part of it,
the people that are paving it are going to be the same people.
Yeah, that might be true,
it's
but like
just
the-
it's the preliminary work to get it laid out.
Yeah,
It's
all that type
excavation.
of stuff.
So maybe
And
we
he
should
didn't
table
know
this
if
for a
it was-
project after the fiscal year to talk
Well-
about getting an actual solid estimate. or
What I would
solid
say
estimate.
we have it, we know our balance right now, if we fund it from underspend, is $400,000 thereabouts, right? Let's continue the conversation, see where we land, pick up at the end, right? And see how much we want to return to the taxpayers, right? And then, all right, if we say, hey, you know what, there's an opportunity to say, we really want to give 300,000 or 400,000 back to the taxpayers, let's have that conversation at the end. Does that work?
I think it's great.
Okay.
All right, where do we want to go next?
So I'll make a motion to approve the funding of the LMS parking lot for completion.
Second.
You want to motion that now?
I do.
Okay.
Yep. Motion by myself, second by Mr. Plansky.
Aye.
Was there additional discussion, Mr. Peoples? I just heard your kind of came off mute there, I guess.
Back on mute.
Okay. Mr. Shoemaker?
Aye.
I'm an aye.
Aye.
Mr. Plansky? Mr. Peoples, can you hear us?
You guys just broke up terribly.
Okay.
We broke up terribly.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and proceed. Mr. Peoples cannot hear us, so it'll be a 3-0-0 vote. Okay, what is
You wanna mute
next?
him just in case?
Yes. Oh, that muted me. How do I mute him?
If I click on.
I hate this.
Yeah, I know.
I think I just gotta mute my computer. Hold on. That might be the easiest, quickest way.
There you go.
Alright,
No, we won't be able to hear him at all, though.
I know. I'll try to watch to see if he.
Might be
Ray, can you
7
mute your
o'clock.
phone for a sec? Or your meet? I'll pay attention over here.
You're still on mute, so you're not gonna be able to hear him.
Yeah, but I should be able to see the icon if he can hear me, right? That he
Okay.
muted himself. We're trying.
Okay, here we go.
So we're moving on to.
All right, let me get my agenda back. Where did you go? All right. We have our little list.
He's saying he can hear us.
He can hear us. Great. Ray, if you can hear us, can you?
Oh, Mr. Peoples voted yes. I just got a
Voted
message
yes.
on that. Okay. So we're gonna change that vote to 4-0-0 on the parking lot. Thank you, Ray. You see that, just for confirmation? I vote
I
yes.
see it.
I vote yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, either way, it's a majority vote. So.
And I just unmuted, and I think he's good on his end.
Okay.
Let's go. Here we go. Where was this one? All right.
Drop curtain.
This is linked in the
I
agenda.
should also say, just on parking lot, one other thing.
Yeah.
Mr. DeWitt also sent me a message, and he was in favor of the parking lot as well. He's not here to vote tonight, but he was very much in favor. Okay.
So this was kind of our, we've had this list at many meetings dating back a few months now. We tried to condense it. I think I apologize, I was not at the last meeting, but I believe you looked at this list last meeting as well, a condensed version of kind of these end of the year expenses and maybe focusing and grouping some things together. This is not everything. There's a secondary tab that has the list of everything we've discussed at various times. But if we want to do anything more with end of the year funds, this would be probably where we want to have those conversations based off of. So I guess the question to the board is, you're sitting, ignoring we'll come back to the impact fee part of it, but right now you're at about $400,000 left in end of the year expenditures. Is there anything else you want to do?
Okay. So the other thing that we talked about was the kitchen fire drop curtain at GMS. There was a quote received. Was it repairable?
It was not repairable. We had someone else come out and take a look at it. They said that it's a very old piece of equipment that they no longer use, so you cannot get parts to fix it. And it's also, they have much safer versions available.
Okay.
to do. So I did have two quotes, I think. Yeah, there was a second one.
Yeah, they're
I
linked
think
in
it was a
the
little bit
agenda.
more, yeah.
They're under Julie's section, but they're 2 quotes for the.
Right, yeah, so
Drop
we had
fee.
that original one, and then a second one, which was a little bit higher.
And so, just for like public awareness, the fire drop curtain is the,
It's the curtain in the window there that, yeah, comes down, and if
Big
there was
metal,
a.
like,
It's a steel gate.
you can think about it like a big metal steel door.
Right. Yeah.
Right, that is in the GMS cafeteria.
which people probably think is just for security purposes, but is actually serves a fire purpose.
Correct.
Yeah, that door is no longer operable, and we've had a company come out to see if it was repairable as opposed to replacing, and it is not.
Is it required by code that we have that? Do we know?
That's a great question.
No, because we've never been dinged for it in our fire inspections.
Yeah. Or the, yeah, food inspections either.
Right.
I mean, the kitchen.
So I don't think it's a hard requirement by code. I think, I mean, the idea is what it's there for, right? Like if there's a fire in the kitchen, you can, first for student safety, you can pull that down, right? And contain the fire within the kitchen. Not that we're having that level of fires on a regular basis, but like
We're
that's
not-
the
it's
idea
not a
behind it.
hibachi kitchen. like
So
this.
first is student safety, right? But second is building safety, right? You're pulling that down and you're containing the fire in that so it doesn't get to other, you think of cafeteria, it's usually wood around and other flammable things, paper, straws, all the stuff in a kitchen cafeteria area that could easily catch fire. You're trying to contain that as much as possible. I mean, if everything's going well, we never use this thing. That's the point, right? Like,
So I think that, you know, the question that people are gonna raise is if we're actively working on a project to try to replace the school, like, is it?
Well, we're not replacing, we're renovating.
renovating,
Right, right,
we're
right,
not
right.
renovating.
And-
And actually, not the cafeteria.
Not the
That-
cafeteria.
This is out of
Not the
scope for that
cafeteria.
project
Correct,
altogether.
Correct. Well, that would be the question, right? So.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
so
a good
worth
question to
getting-
bring.
It's worth getting ahead of it.
Our renovation is not touching the CAF, so
Correct.
that's why this is not part of any of that.
Do we have this in the other schools too? A fire curtain?
Definitely in the high school, because I
We
can
do.
picture it, and I'm assuming
It's
elements.
in LMS as well.
I mean, I think it's a pretty,
Mhm.
we're lucky that it hasn't happened, but if it happens and we don't have the curtain, then we've got real problems.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the fire drop kitchen of $12,700.
Is that the estimate? And
There's
so you
two,
got
one's
two?
12 that, and the other one's 18,000.
And, you're right, and I will say the $12,700 one, I realized after was, we got that from our, back in February. We did reach out to see if they could update that quote and did not get that back.
So do we need an action up to 18?
No, that's way too much.
Well, but that's the other quote. So, I mean, we don't know if this is still a good number. Obviously, we'll go with the lower of the two, but
I mean, you're encumbering the money, right? So like, if it comes back to more than 12,700, like, then
You have
it's
to find-
on
you
us
could
to
find
find,
the money,
find
right.
the money, right?
right, but I don't want you to have
Okay.
to find $6,000.
No, I can't, I don't imagine the price has fluctuated that much money.
Yeah,
That's much more on this.
It's a lot.
You know, it's a real quote that they have in hand for 18.
They have a real quote for 12,700 too.
That's 4 months old.
So you think the price of
I
materials has
don't.
gone
I
up?
hope not. I'm just saying.
No way.
Okay.
I'm not buying it.
I mean, listen.
I like the 12.7 number too.
I'm not saying that I'd like to buy a more expensive piece of metal.
Yeah.
To be clear.
But I think if it comes in different, we would find a way to find the money.
Yeah, or just say, hey, we're a school district, can you work with us?
Yeah.
Like, this is a safety piece of equipment for children.
I mean, I'm not saying this is gonna happen in this circumstance, but just to tie back to the larger conversation of why we're in these situations in the first place, and I'm not saying it's a bad situation, but why we have excess money, is because in the budget process, we get quotes, and then when it comes time to actually buy the stuff, we usually get better deals, like, because we're schools, right? So like, once they have your business, they know it, they'll work with you, especially if it's a return customer,
Listen,
so.
you're the one that has to find it if it's higher. So like, if you're smiling about it, then I'm all game.
So my motion stands,
I'll even second the motion.
$12,700 for the replacement of the GMS fire drop curtain.
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Mr. Shoemaker. Additional discussion? Mr. Shoemaker?
Aye.
I am an aye. Mr. Plansky?
Aye.
Mr. Peoples, if you can hear us?
Brian has to turn his computer volume back on.
I did.
right, this is disastrous. 300.
Okay, back to this tab. All right, next, I'm just going down this list to chunk. Do we want to do anything in the auditorium? This is the auditorium at CHS.
It was delayed. I vote yes on fire.
400.
4-0.
Thank you.
I think for me, the next thing we should talk about is the AED replacements.
We did it.
We already took care of that?
Yeah, that was out of the budget.
Never mind.
We had to act. We got state, little
Yep.
state pricing on
Understood.
some stuff.
Auditorium, seating, cleaning, floors, et cetera. Is that what we're talking about next?
Yeah, I would only bring this up because if you're, the cleaning you could probably do separately, like, whatever, but if you're gonna paint, if you're gonna attack the floors in there, we need to coordinate this stuff. You should do the painting before the floors, and you should do the cleaning last after all of that, so. I'm not saying we have to, the auditorium is 25 years old, because it's all original stuff from when the high school was built. This is on our CIP to start looking at this, so we've left it here. We got quotes from all this. These quotes are probably about a month old at this point, so they're all pretty good. But they're grouped here together because if you're gonna commit to part of it, you should probably just do all of it. And this is together probably about a little under $40,000, so.
Can I just ask a question about
Yeah.
the seating? Because I know I asked this a couple weeks, or a few weeks, probably like a month ago now, and I don't remember the answer. I know that I was sitting in one of the seats and it was like obliterated.
Yeah.
Or have we like looked at having those repaired?
We did not go that far in depth into that yet.
So I guess my like thing is like, I don't know that I want to throw money at the seating. If someone comes in and says, hey, it's going to be cheaper for us to just replace that section of seating because there's 5 seats that are all attached to each other that need to be replaced. I don't know that it makes sense to be paying $17,000 to clean them.
Yeah, well, that quote was the CIP.
Okay, sorry,
thing.
$2,200.
Yeah, so
The
that
actual quote
was my next
$2,200.
question. Is it really $17,000
It's
or
not.
is it $2,200?
No, if you look in the next.
Sorry, I
column,
should
yeah.
have elaborated there and scrolled over right away.
Yeah.
So those pricing we put there in the left is from our CIP plan, when we did the on-site insight reports as they were estimating the prices for these different components of it. And I think this is an important thing to highlight as we follow along with that plan, because that's what we're trying to do, is to follow the CIP plan that our own district CIP plan, is they were estimates from on-site insight, that's what's guiding us, but when reality comes and we go get actual quotes, they could potentially fluctuate, and this is a good example of that. The cleaning was put in at $17,000. I went back and read that report multiple times. It's literally stating a cleaning of the seats, no repairs, no nothing.
Yeah.
And when we had someone come in, it was $2,200, right? The second one down there, which I think is,
Floors.
the floors came in higher. You know, the carpeting repair was $581. When they came in and did it, it was closer to $11,000, right? So this is just a good, like, reference for people who follow along with this. Like, yes, we have a plan, yes, we have prices in there, but when reality comes to get quotes, things might be different when it actually comes to it, higher, lower, sometimes closer to whatever it is, so.
In terms of paint for ceiling walls and jumping down for, I guess, same conversation for CHS gym paint.
Yeah.
Is the vision that this would be done over the summer?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, gym 100% has to be done over the summer, because we use it during the school year. I mean, we do use it a little bit over the summer, but we use it over the school year. And the auditorium, we might have a little flexibility on because of when it's in heaviest use, is more of is more winter and then the spring for the shows and stuff, like late fall, early winter and stuff. But yeah, the intent would be to do it over the summer.
Open to thoughts.
I mean, the cleaning of the chairs, again, like, I just don't, those chairs, there's a lot more work that needs to be done to those. I'd rather lump that into a project that's addressing the chairs in their entirety. So many of them, I shouldn't say so many, some of the ones that I've sat in are not. I don't think it's me.
Do you want to wait for a broader auditorium strategy then? And just figure out a better game plan for floors, seats, painting,
Well, from-
lighting, whatever?
And there's a lot of stuff for the auditorium here and then in another section further on down, but if it's $2,200 to clean the seats, I don't think that's a lot to try to get them back into some decent shape and then decide at some point how we want to attack the auditorium as a whole.
I mean, we should get into a rhythm of doing cleaning. We couldn't find the last time that auditorium was cleaned professionally. I'm not saying it's never been cleaned professionally, it's just we didn't.
I can't remember.
Like,
when we've ever
so
even
we
talked
should get
about it.
in a habit of doing it. Like, it's maybe not like every year. Like, I don't know if it gets that level of use, but like, it should be more than once every 25.
Yeah.
How many days is that place packed though in the course of the year? Is it 20 days?
That's what I mean. Like,
Maybe it's like
yeah.
on a 10-year cycle.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, your point is valid. I don't remember ever talking about it.
Yeah.
Right? So.
I mean, I'm not gonna vote no if you guys are in favor of it. Like, to me, it's not a huge sum of money, but I just think that.
I think it's okay to
I'm
wait.
okay with the
like,
cleaning. For me, it's more about the painting, right? Because, when we talked about this last year, and we talked about painting a painting strategy, last year it was, all right, let's set aside $8,000, and let's, continue that forward every year. Let's have a painting strategy where we're doing a little bit of painting every year, right? Great. I know the superintendent and I talked about the gym. The gym would be great to have a fresh coat of paint because that is very dirty, so it's like one of the two. Like, do we want to do the auditorium?
Oh,
Do we want to
if it's one of the two, I said the gym. I
one of the
agree.
two?
Yeah,
Like,
I
do we
agree.
want to do the auditorium this year or the gym? It's not, for me, it's not both.
I think it's okay. We are painting, just like it's not here on the end of the years, but we're painting right now. We're painting the second floor of the high school right now. We're continue that project that we started last year.
Same color as the first
Same
floor
color
this
as the
year?
first floor, yep.
Now
It's gonna
switch
be-
it up. That's
It's gonna be really jarring because the stairwells will now be the like yellowish tint color alone, versus.
The bus
versus-
company
but-
donated some leftover paint.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, our plan this year is we're working our way around the second floor of the high school. So we're continuing that kind of touch of painting there to the high school as we go. We will need to get to the stairwells, and we need to get to the gym, and we need to get to the auditorium. And the reason why we aren't doing that is, I think, for obvious reasons. Like, you need to
Height.
bring, it's the height, right? Like, the equipment that you need for this. You need
Yeah.
professionals to do that part of it.
And
So-
that makes sense.
Yeah, so my inclination would be, if we're choosing one or the other, my inclination would be choosing the gym and the.
I would agree.
stairwells.
All right. I mean, should we ask, Tony's here. What do you feel about painting the gym right now?
No. What do you feel about painting the gym yourself? he wasn't clear.
Yeah, I mean, but, painting a gym requires a design, right? It
Yes.
requires some logos and things like that, right? So.
All right, so I'm okay with the auditorium seating, cleaning, I'm good with that. Everything else in our auditorium, no. And definitely good on the CHS gym painting.
But I would ask, just with respect to the seating, that we try to get an inventory of like what is going on, like what needs to be. We should start figuring out what that number looks like beyond just cleaning.
I mean, yes, and I'll use this as an avenue to wedge this in right now. Our new facilities director started yesterday. Zach started yesterday. And
Welcome.
yes, and he is great already. So he's a Litchfield guy.
Make sure you put on his list the CHS LED lights that need to be fixed in the parking lot.
Yeah, I mean, what was he doing today?
Irrigation.
Irrigation stuff
That's,
outside and everything, so.
yeah.
There were several lights, including one in the building,
Yeah.
and
So he's getting right to it, where he's doing it, I mean, it's the second day, but like, he was noticing stuff, and he was like, hey, can we, yes, do what you gotta do, like, go for it, so he's on top of things.
Okay, so moving this forward, right, I'm gonna make a motion to approve the auditorium seating cleaning for $2,200.
But I thought we were not doing that.
the cleaning.
The
Cleaning
clean-
only, not painting.
Nothing else.
Second. No, yeah, it's fine. I'll take it. Second.
Motion by myself, second by Mr. Shoemaker, additional discussion? Mr. Shoemaker?
Aye.
I am an aye. Mr. Plansky?
Aye.
Mr. Peoples, if you can hear us. I'm sure he'll send me a text. That carries 3-0 for now. I'll make a motion to approve CHS gym walls painting for $13,765.
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Mr. Shoemaker. Mr. Shoemaker?
Aye.
I am an aye. Mr. Plansky?
Aye.
Mr. Peoples? That also carries 3-0.
You want to do the stairwell too?
For stairwell painting, I guess that makes sense because you're already gonna have the equipment in there,
Yeah,
right, with the lifts and all that jazz?
I mean, it'd be great because we're doing the second floor, right? Like, and the hallways are kind of done.
Yeah,
Yeah, then we've got like the majority of the school.
okay,
Well, if they bring the lift in to do the gym.
That's what I'm saying, the
They should be
lifts are
able to do
already
the
there.
stairwells.
all right, yeah, so.
Should be okay.
We need to motion that as well.
Yeah, so I will make a motion to approve the stairwell painting for $10,960.
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Mr. Shoemaker. Additional discussion on this one?
Nope.
Mr. Shoemaker?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Mr. Plansky?
Aye.
Mr. Peoples? That carries 3-0. Okay.
Okay, so there's a secondary list that we kind of closed the door on. Do we even want to look at it, or do we want to?
So, I'm just reading kind of the texts here. One of the things that I know Mr. Peoples was passionate about, that's not on discussion here, but we should bring up, and I want to make sure I acknowledge Mr. Peoples, is the gym floors, and having kind of gashes and things like that that are safety items that need to be repaired.
So I know that the CHS floor needs some work, and the LMS floor needs some work, and I'm not prepared to say a full replacement right now, but I think we need to do something for the
So
LMS.
we have a quote for a floor repair. I think this is still good. Let me open it real quick. It's from May. This would be wood floor, refinishing, maintenance, et cetera, et cetera. This is $27,000. This is a repair for that. I think it takes, it's like bringing off, like you gotta scrape everything off. So then you gotta put it back on, like all the painting and everything like that. Or be prepared to do all of it, right? Like you may not scrape it all off when it's all said and done, but that's why this is pretty expensive.
What is the useful life of the floor at this point? Like, would that get it back? Like, is that gonna buy us?
I mean, I like,
Or do we not? If you don't know the answer, that's okay too.
I don't know the answer, but just like a philosophy, and this is where kind of my high school bias might come through a little bit. Like, I think your high school gym floor needs to clearly be your best floor, right? Like that's the marquee floor that you have in a district, not just here, just in generals in terms of schools, and just because that's where the highest level of competition in the school district will be, and like. In a lot of districts, you run a lot of events in your high school gym, right? So you want it to look nice and you want it to be in good condition and everything like that. And then as you kind of move down, it's not as critical to be in as high level of a condition, I would say, is the politest way of saying it. Now, in this particular town, that middle school gym is in use
All the time.
all the time. So, and because here in Litchfield, there's limited gym space, you're gonna get good bang for your buck no matter what you do to that floor, right?
I guess
Like,
the reason I'm asking though is if it's $25,000 to repair it, but it's really gonna just buy us 4 years, or it's $100,000 to replace it, I'd rather put.
It's $165,000 to replace it,
Is it
though, right?
165?
something.
But either way, I mean, you do the math, right? Like, whatever it is, like, if we're gonna invest,
165.
that's a big sum of money, depending on how long it's gonna buy us, versus, it's not like it's a $2,000 repair where it's an easy whatever,
Right.
it's whatever percentage of the total price of replacing it would be. And that's that's an old floor, right?
That's a very old floor.
Yeah.
So that's my only thing, is like,
And
just
that-
not throwing.
That floor has gouges in it.
Yeah, it's in tough shape.
It has termite damage.
I mean, Tony, you may have more experience than me. Do you have thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm with Matt in the idea that I don't know if sanding fixes the major issues on the LMS floor. Like there's holes near the doorway where the termite damage was. I don't know how extensive the termite damage is.
Well, it says
'cause-
repair.
It says repairs, right?
Yeah, so if they fix the hole, that, I guess, did they see like how extensive the damage is into the floor?
They came in person to give us this quote, so I would assume, I was not with them when they got this quote, but I would assume they went, if they're referencing the termite damage on the walkthrough, then they were over there
Yeah.
examining all that stuff, yeah.
I mean, I guess if it's this or nothing, like definitely, I think it's worth doing. Because right now it's in brutal shape, and I think it's unsafe at this point.
Yeah.
What is that quote for, 27,000?
7,000.
27,000.
I'm in favor of doing that, and if it gets us 5 years, fantastic.
I mean, that's what you need.
Yep.
You know, you need it to last 5 years. Because then it's like the same price as repair, right? Like,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's your return on investment.
Yeah.
If it gets us 5 years, then sure.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the LMS gym floor sanding and repair for $27,000.
Second?
Motion by myself, second by Mr. Plansky. Yeah, and this is, thank you, Mr. Peoples, I'm getting your texts. Mr. Peoples votes yes.
On this,
Yes. On this
Aye.
one. Mr. Shoemaker's a yes, I'm a yes, Mr. Plansky.
Aye.
That carries 4-0.
on the, on the top of the sheet that we were looking at. Sorry, software decided to open in the middle of this. We had like other stuff, and maybe you're working off your sheet, so I don't know if it's just in a different order, but there was like stair flooring, and
oh, down here.
is it down on yours, on this one that you're working off of?
So
Because it was on the
sheets at
one that
this
was in the
place.
spreadsheet that we were using, it was closer to
one,
the
right?
top. I'm looking at it. I opened whatever one was on the agenda. If it's on your sheet, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure. on
At
the
some
sheet that I
point,
was
we were
working-
looking at, I know what you're talking about, I think, because at some point we've discussed and we were looking at quotes at.
CHS stair flooring, CHS music room carpet, like those were
Yeah.
just bunched
Oh,
together in the
yes.
spreadsheet that I was
Yeah.
looking at.
Yeah. Okay, here we are, back on this one. So music room carpet replacement and stair flooring. So this is linked together because it's kind of the same company that does it, you know? So the carpet in the music room, is just disgusting. I don't know how else to put it. It's 25 years old and it's been chewed up and holes in it and everything like that. And I think I just grouped them together because they were flooring related, right? You know, so if you wanted to start picking away, you know, auditorium is auditorium. So auditorium floors is part of the larger auditorium conversation. But the next, like, most in need at CHS in terms of flooring is that music room carpet replacement. And then the CIP plan has the stairwell flooring, like revealing that. The stairwell flooring's actually okay. Like, it's not like in desperate need or anything like that. It's original and everything, so it's not like young or anything like that. And they've improved on stairwell flooring since 25 years ago. But that music room carpet is in pretty kind of rough shape, so that was on here.
What does the board think about the music room?
I think we have other things, and I keep going back to the LMS sinks in the nurses counter, right, that have been, we've talked about it for several years now.
We're having a hard time getting a quote that then actually matches the money that does it. Like, I'm sure we're gonna come to this somewhere in this discussion, no better time than now. So we have things that we encumbered last June for, right? And part of that was sinks and stuff over at LMS. We had a quote for like $14,000. And when we went to go do the work, the new quote was like $80,000.
It's 84,000, because I looked, I'm like,
Yeah.
how is it $84,000 for 14
And
sinks?
so we're having some like frustration, I will just leave it as in getting, what does this really cost, right? Like, and it may have, I don't want to put words in Mr. Peoples' mouth, but I think I was having a conversation with him because he was looking at that quote and was like, why are we getting these type of sinks? This is too expensive and stuff like that. So I just don't know if we're there yet to like properly, like, we need more. I need Zach, our new facilities guy, to really like put time and energy to make sure we do that project correctly.
Let's give him an opportunity then to
Yeah.
get situated,
Yeah.
all right, and put together his opinion.
Yeah.
I appreciate that feedback. I think
Yeah.
that's useful.
I think that'd be good.
Mr. People says the sinks do need to be done, they're a mess.
They do. I do not disagree with
I
that.
think we're all acknowledging that, we just want the new facilities director, we want to give him an opportunity to get in there and put together his recommendation. Okay. All right, so, music room, what are your thoughts?
I mean, the more things that we like, if I haven't seen it, so I don't know how bad it is, but you're saying it's in like, are we talking?
It's the
holes
worst,
or-
yeah, it's just the worst flooring in the high school, I would say pretty comfortably, you know? Now, can we hold class in it? Of course, we've been holding class in it, it's fine, like, but at some point, we'll have to address it at some point. It's on our bigger plan,
And-
right?
And that quote
So-
came in at 18,000. It was originally,
Yeah, the
10.7
CIP listed
came
it
at
at
18.
10, and then
Right.
when they came in to look at it, they're like, yeah, this is a complete, it's a more carpet than you think. You know, like, if you're just visualizing,
Yeah.
like, whatever, and then you're in the, like, I was in there when they were taking measurements and doing everything, I was like, there's a lot of carpet here, so.
are there other safety issues that we should address with what we're gonna take out of the underspend? And I think as we go forward, we need to put some of these maintenance items and just put them in the budget.
Yeah, no,
No doubt, right? And like, that's a broader conversation. I know the superintendent and I have had a few times, right? Like, for sinks and for other like general maintenance items, I know it's hard to include in the budget because it inflates the budget, but look, we have facilities needs too, and they need to be part of the budget discussions.
And I think we're doing that, right? Next year's budget has some of that stuff. We followed that CIP plan. If you remember back in the fall when we were in those budget meetings with the budget committee, we referenced specific things that were in the CIP plan that we then applied into the budget. So I think some of this is like where, like, this list is all over the place because it's all of our thoughts down, right? Like, what is just thoughts that aren't necessarily budgeted yet that we want to get down if there's an opportunity to address some things. I always think prioritizing safety is the right move to do, right? And like the parking lot's a perfect example of that, right? Like, that's a safety thing. It's a very obvious example, but it's a huge safety risk. Like, we have to take care of that before anything more that we got to do. So I don't know if there's anything that, like, we have, like, some of the things we left on here, we were able to, as we wrapped up the year, take care of them, right? AEDs is an example of that. When we were first putting this together, like way back in February and March, we included AEDs on this list because we needed to.
And we had
right?
talked about just,
Yeah.
we were able to just to do
And
it.
then we did it, so it's done, right? If you go to I put it back up on the big screen here, this is like the condensed list, and we didn't get down to the bottom. These were all things we had on our CIP that for some of the things we checked and they're good, other things we did. Like, one of this is a door repair. And so we brought the people in and they replaced, there was a door issue in the back by the gym, one of the back doors. We fixed it. It was a safety issue because it was screwing with our alarm system, and it got done.
what about the
Taken
SAU
care
door?
Fixed that while we were at it too. Yep. Now close is too good. So, but we'll
Sometimes
take
it's a
that
finger,
back.
it's okay.
Yeah.
I
But we're
sorted
trying to, like-
the other spreadsheet by which,
Yeah.
whoever categorized these.
It's just a
It's just us
brainstorming session.
brainstorming.
Yeah. Consistency is king. Access doors and hatches, which it sounds like you're covering, automatic door openers. That was CHS stuff. This is just stuff
Yeah.
that was coded as safety in some capacity. Blue light stuff, burglar system.
And like, again, we've been actually chipping away at this.
Chipping away.
Like, we had
Yep.
the blue
Yep.
light stuff. We brought some people in. They identified an issue that we were having.
Yep.
And knock on wood, we haven't had any of those issues since,
What
right?
about
So
the repeaters? Where did we?
we're not there
Okay.
yet.
All right.
You know,
Just-
like, that's a big expense.
I'm
that
just
I
trying to
think-
hit the things,
No,
because
no, I
Peter
think
asked
it's
about
good.
safety, so I'm just running
Talked
through
about the
things.
drop camera, the drop
Curtain, we talked black.
Not
and-
ready for extra cameras yet. I think we gotta wait for that. AEDs we took care of, parking lot we took care of, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's, I mean, that was from the list, that was the majority, that was all the safety stuff. The rest, what do we do with the wrestling mats?
Where are we at,
I
Russ?
think we're still in the,
They need to be replaced.
$333,033.
So the wrestling mats were the only other safety item that was listed.
Yeah, we had officials all year make comments about how thin the mat is. Which I think it's the original mat, so it might be 20 to 25 years old at this point.
Well, Brian got body slammed on it, how did it?
they didn't
Pro
have
wrestling,
25 years ago.
There's safety into that. There's some padding and stuff. But I think that we were trying, like, we need to replace those mats. You brought that up kind of jokingly, but like, that was part of why we were doing that, is to fundraise money.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
you know, like, for this, they're just expensive.
So that's the only other safety item on here that we haven't re-evaluated. Did they end up raising money towards that?
They did, I don't know the number off the top of my head, I know it doesn't cover the mats, because we were running 3 separate, like, fundraisers that night.
Just now I can't find it.
We also can't take the student activity
That's
funds
detailed,
budget.
that's detailed.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can slap my wrist later for that one.
So I guess the question is,
I mean, I went, the wrestling mats, I mean, like, I do think it's a real concern, but
So let's stay focused, right?
Yeah.
So the question on the table is, what are we doing with the music room?
well, no, the question on the table that Peter raised was did we address all the safety issues, which is
Right,
why
but
we're
the
going.
question
down this path.
before that was the music room.
Right, but he wasn't comfortable voting on the music room because he wanted to know about the safety items first. So I just
Look
took
at me
the
being
time to go
difficult.
through all the safety items. Right? Well, so I guess the question is, Peter, are you, based off of that review of the safety items, are you comfortable circling back to the music room?
Sure.
Okay, well, there we go.
All right, here we go. Music room.
I think that it gets us closer to having things on a maintained and on a good maintenance schedule to be able to budget more directly as we move forward, which is our ultimate goal. Our ultimate goal is to develop very lean budgets that are very tailored towards our actual needs, and the more of these outstanding things that have been like lingering from the past that we can get rid of, the easier it's going to be to do that in a shorter term future. So
Yep, I agree. If it's the original carpet and, you know, just think about all the spit that's happening in that room. I mean, it's true.
it's true.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I
All
say
those
that, but I mean
woodwind
that.
instruments.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just think about that, right?
It's 25 years
That's
worth of
exactly
spit.
why we did this at LMS a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Right? So,
I mean, I think there's something poetic if you did wrestling mats and the music carpet. 'cause you're
Both ends of
hitting-
the spectrum.
You're hitting both ends of the spectrum.
I'm having a hard time finding the wrestling mat on here, but I would make a
There.
motion to do the carpet in the music room.
okay. So we have a motion by Mr. Plansky for the music room flooring for $17,304. We'll stick with that one first.
wasn't it 18? Am I looking at the wrong? Was I looking at the wrong one?
Music room carpet and stair flooring is $17,304.
I gotta go on the sheet that you're on. Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, the quote
It's
is
18.
higher.
It's
Yeah,
18,339.
I'm adding the two together, that's why.
Yep. It's
you go.
18,339.
Okay, I amend my motion. The motion
You
by
didn't make the
Mr.
motion, so. Peter has to amend the motion.
I amend the motion to do the
And I
carpet,
will Second the amended.
I'm
motion.
reading it.
18,339.
There you go. And I've seconded the
All right,
amended.
Mr. Polanski amends his motion for the music room replacement flooring for $18,339. Mr. Shoemaker seconds that motion. Additional discussion on music room flooring replacement.
No.
Mr. Shoemaker.
Aye.
I am an aye. Mr. Plansky.
Aye.
Mr. Peoples. I vote no on flooring. Okay, so that is 3-1-0. Okay. Next up was the wrestling mats. Wrestling mats come in at $12,306. Did I have that right?
Thanks. So is this in it?
That's what I'm looking at, so.
So I guess the only question is if money's been raised toward that, it would be good for that money to go towards that because
It is, we can always use that money that they've raised for another purpose related to that program now, right? Like, they're still gonna have other needs that they're gonna want.
Otherwise, we'd have to know that number right now and adjust
Yeah,
the.
and I don't have that number in front of me.
Oh, there it is, right there.
Like, because of with the fundraising, it's a different set of money.
yeah, that makes
You're
sense.
not,
Yeah.
but like, you're not bound to, like, it's good. You don't want to get in the habit of like not putting that money towards what you say you're gonna.
Yeah, so I mean,
fundraise.
I think that there's gonna be a number of taxpayers that feel strongly that fundraising is the appropriate mechanism to be replacing those things. My concern is liability, right? I would like to see that get done from a liability perspective, so.
I also think it's a slippery slope when you start asking teams to fundraise for necessary equipment. It's one thing for like sweatshirts and bonding trips, but when you start asking teams, hey, you gotta start fundraising for helmets, and you gotta start fundraising for either mat and all of that stuff, now I think, like, are we just full pay to play? And I think it's a slippery slope.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I think a lot of taxpayers feel that way. So, just acknowledging it.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the wrestling mats of $12,306.
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Mr. Shoemaker. Additional discussion? All right, Mr. Shoemaker?
Aye.
I am an aye. Mr. Plansky?
Aye.
And Mr. Peoples, I see him typing. Yes. All right, that carries 4-0.
All right. I feel like it's my responsibility to pause you for a second and go back to this sheet.
The sheet is at 300 and, well,
Not yet.
not yet.
We haven't typed in the wrestling mats yet.
So we're gonna be at
getting there.
$323,000.
No, it's gonna be less, because the 18,339 hasn't come out yet
Oh,
either.
man, come on now.
Probably a little over 300.
Yeah. And we don't wanna,
You don't want to go too low.
Right.
go, but we're also gonna talk about impact fees.
That's true. This does not factor that in.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's good. Take your time, no pressure.
Nobody's watching.
Just for those watching at home, we're just
That is
waiting
on.
on some calculations to be updated here, so the board has a good perspective.
I mean, I think you've taken care of all the safety things that we were generating.
Just while this happens, the other item I wanted to talk about with the board is replacement of the GMS sign. The GMS sign on CHS and Charles, not CHS.
CBH.
CBH, Charles Bancroft Highway. So the main sign for that building is beyond end of life. And we have been getting some estimates for that sign to replace that, to actually take it out of the ground and put in a new sign. There are some providers coming in actually tomorrow as well to take a look at that project and to put in a new sign that fits the character with some of the other work in town. Some of the other work, I mean, if you look at the sign at the end of Albuquerque and Charles Bancroft Highway with the granite posts and things like that, something that matches kind of the historical nature of that particular area of our town as well, because that is a historical area and a historical district. We have to be mindful of that, as well as also keeping with the reader board that is not digital, right, at least for now. I know that's going to be a point of discussion maybe in the future, pending approvals for the town and all that jazz. So for me, I'd like to see that as one of the considerations here, but open to the board's thoughts.
Do we have an idea what the cost is?
I'm prepared to make a motion for $20,000. I'm not expecting it to come in exactly at that amount, but
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the other good thing is, as we're working towards solving all of the problems there, like, that, the outside is going to be one of the things, so I think, and that's something that won't be impacted, we can do that, and it's not like we'd lose the value of that, so I would be supportive of that.
Anything that happens at GMS would happen around that sign.
correct.
Wouldn't have to move it or
And signs can be moved.
Changing location, we're not, right, that's staying there for a while.
ever.
I would be supportive of that.
I'll take you off the big screen.
Yeah,
Is
that would be
better?
great.
Less
That'd be
pressure.
great.
So just while Julie makes her final numbers.
I feel bad, we're putting the pressure on her, putting her on the screen.
Um, All right, 304.
Right.
388.
Going back in.
304? All right, so the end result right now is 304, 388. Julie, if I can have you add one more row.
Yeah. Oh, whoops. Yeah.
GMS sign replacement. I'll make a motion to approve $20,000 or up to $20,000 for GMS sign replacement.
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Mr. Plansky. Additional discussion on this one? Mr. Shoemaker?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Mr. Plansky?
Aye.
And Mr. Peoples? Mr. Peoples says no on this one, so this one carries 3-1-0. Okay. All right. So that lands us at 284, 388. We have 200,000 budgeted to return to taxpayers. That's still the plan at the moment. At this point, all 284, 388, if all goes according to plan, would be returned to taxpayers, but nothing goes according to plan, right? There's still some bills that will come in that takes out of that money, et cetera. I'd like to open the discussion again on the use of LMS impact fees to offset some of the paving projects. Some, or, we can take all 255, or a portion of 255, or none of the 255,000 impact fees.
So those fees, again, are part of the pre-existing dedicated to LMS only.
Correct. Not the all district. That's a separate account.
And your question about the, well, we did vote in favor of the gym floor, right?
We did, for $27,000.
And so your idea was, does it make sense to use impact fees to actually do the gym floor?
I don't know if it would get approved, because I don't know what your increased use of services.
We don't know
Like
the
the
answer to
pro
this.
for users, so if I may jump in, the pro for just using all the impact fees for it right now is we know from legal, from all legal parties, that money can be applied to the parking lot project, right? Like we've gotten the okay from all parties involved. So we know we have a purpose for that money. As in the 2 years I've been here, we sometimes have great ideas about impact fees, and then we find out we can't use the impact fees for that purpose, and here's something we know we can use. I don't know if you can use it for the sings or the gym floor. I would say no, you're not gonna be able to use the impact fees for all that. I think what you would consider is not using all of the impact fees, some of the impact fees, all of it, whatever the case, with, again, going back to like, I think the egress road, is that something you're gonna revisit? And you wanna leave some money in there to offset that potential cost down the road, right? If you're looking at timing, I mean, like, it sounds like they can do the parking lot project as is at LMS over the span of 3 to 4 weeks, right? Summer's only 9 to 10 weeks, right? So we gotta be conscious, and we've lost 2 of them already. Not lost, but we've been out of school for 2 weeks, right? So we gotta factor in the timing of these projects. Again, you cannot speak for future boards, but I think, an egress road might be a conversation for literally a year from now, depending on how everything unfolds from now until then. Like, we have an idea, we have some impact fees. We're fairly certain the impact fees would meet that requirement. You could split the difference and take half of this and half of that. Or you can do whatever you want, take all of it for now and worry about egress road in the future.
No, I like that. I think that that's the last piece of that project, the last big piece of that project, that we could, potentially button up with that.
The other is solar. I mean, Andrew's right about the solar. We're gonna have to
If that's.
We're gonna
an
have to do
if that's-
something
Right.
with solar at some point. Now, 2 years ago, when we were prepping warrants, we got real close to the end. I think we pulled it at the last second, or maybe it failed. I don't even
failed.
remember.
It failed, yeah. We didn't put it on we did not put it.
We didn't put it on last year, but 2
The year
years
before.
ago.
I know the
it
budget
failed.
committee is asking what our plan is for that
You know,
already.
we were prepping a reserve fund for that particular thing. Now, as we've gone further along the lines, we've gotten some legal advice that maybe we don't need to have a separate warrant article for solar, whether we want to have a separate one for solar. Those are all conversations we're gonna have to have, in the fall and stuff like that and everything.
So
But the
if we,
bigger picture of like, we gotta, like, the work's gonna actually get done. So like, we gotta now
I think,
actually like.
I think there's
plan.
enough stuff that still needs to, whether, we don't know whether that qualifies, but
We don't.
we do know, I would think that the egress would, and I think that that's worth keeping that money, the impact fees reserved for a future discussion about that. I think where we stand right now, that's still a pretty good return to the taxpayers. It's, it's $80,000 above budgeted.
I'm just concerned, I agree with you, right? I'm just concerned that we want to make sure we have enough to pay our bills at the end.
I mean, I would feel better about this number.
Extra 100,000.
Yeah.
I would too, right?
Like, yeah.
I would feel better about withdrawing or making a request for impact fees of $100,000, right? Because that gives the district a little bit of flexibility for coverage of any unexpected bills.
What was your number? Sorry.
100,000.
You also have to be aware of the fluctuation and the difference of what's being returned to taxpayers, because that does impact the tax rate as well.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
So you want to take 100,000 out of impact fees, which would offset some of the 455,
Correct.
and then that would leave us, we would then have another $100,000.
Or just, you
within the
can make it
district.
even and say, I want to take 155,000 out and make this project 300,000 out of our budget, 155,000 from impact fees.
But we have to
round
encumber the
numbers.
455 first, right?
Either way, we have to pay it from
The
other
technical
spend,
thing
and
is
it's
you're reimbursing
and
yourself from the
reimbursing
impact
extra.
fees, but
Yeah.
like, so you have to have the money up front to do the project,
Mhm.
and then reimburse yourself with the impact fees, which we do have the money up front. So
And depending what happens with solar going forward, there'll still be some money in there
That's it,
in
that's
impact
right.
fees.
It
that we
doesn't
could-
hinder future boards from at least having some money for some project.
And then we would talk about if we want to put something on the warrant this coming March for solar.
Correct.
So I think we need to show that we're doing something towards the solar.
I think you have to, when we looked at the timelines,
It's
I mean,
closing.
whether we want to stick with our original plan or adjust it with the new knowledge that we've gained over the last couple of years, you got to start storing money away, either from a budgetary standpoint or a reserve fund standpoint. So.
What do you think, Mr. Shoemaker?
I like the number as it is for the purpose of it being a meaningful reserve towards achieving some of those projects that we know are on the horizon. So I would prefer to not have to dip into that, but I also don't want you guys to be, the return to the taxpayer is important. We have to hit that.
Yeah.
So, I want to make sure that if we, I don't want to run into a risk where if we don't action that, then we can't, keep our word on that. So if that's the way it has to be, then that's the way it has to be.
I think splitting the difference is wise, right? Like, it may not be a 50-50 split like the, whether you go to 100 or 155 or impact fees, leaving some for future work. We know there's future work.
I would be much more comfortable pulling 100 than 155.
Okay. I was just using round numbers, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
So we're taking off the money from the impact fees? is
Taking
what-
100.
We took 100.
I don't, yeah,
So that would essentially give 384.
yeah. I don't know, I mean, I don't know honestly if we can do that. I don't know if you have to honor the amount of the quote, I assume.
But it's a reimbursement, right?
True,
Back.
like
Like
next
we,
year.
like I believe our legal advice, and I know you've been working on this more than I, and we're talking this out in real time, so, is that clearly the impact fees don't cover the entirety of the project, correct? So we can just take a portion of the impact fees towards the project, right? Like we got that legal
Oh, yeah,
okay
yeah,
to
you
do
can-
that.
Yes, you can do
Yeah,
whatever
so
you
we're
want
good on that
requesting.
front. So where's your concern with the impact fees?
Do you want to lower the amount that you're encumbering?
No, I think we would still encumber the 455,
Right.
correct?
We
'Cause
cover
have
the
to encumber
455 and
that.
credit ourselves back 100.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It's going to credit, yeah, in FY '27, but yeah,
The impact fees go in FY '27?
it will, because that's when you're requesting it, and that's when we're paying it out.
FY '27
Because we're bringing the money over into the FY '27, correct?
Mhm.
That we've encumbered,
Right,
right?
yeah, okay.
So that makes sense.
Think so?
That
Right?
makes sense?
Okay,
That tracks?
right?
Yeah,
Sure?
sure.
Okay.
You're the math guy. So what do we want to?
So I'm gonna make a motion to request that, the administration make a request to the Board of Selectmen to withdraw $100,000 specifically from the LMS Impact Fee Fund.
Second?
Motion by myself, second by Mr. Shoemaker. Additional discussion on that, and again, that's specifically to offset some of the costs associated to the LMS parking lot repaving project. Additional discussion? Mr. Shoemaker?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Mr. Plansky?
Aye.
Mr. Peoples, if you're still with us. All right, that carries 3-0 for now.
Yes, that carries 4-0. Thank you, Mr. Peoples. Okay, great. Anything else on end-of-year encumbrance?
So do we do any, oh, we can't make any changes to the number until we get approval from the select board, correct? So it's not gonna go to 384.
I mean, right, the board needs to approve it,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's the technical risk, if I may say it that way, right? Like, we're,
We're requesting it. That was my motion.
yeah, and like technically, it's just a reimbursement, so they can deny us the ability to use that, and then we're on the hook for the full 455. But I would hope that that would not be the case, like this is.
Because we're tying it into the town project with the paving of that road very strategically, so. Okay. And the vote on the sign was 310 as well. Yeah. Okay. All right, anything else, any additional discussion on encumbrances this evening? All right, thank you for sticking with us and working through that. Anything else from the administration on encumbrances?
Is there any public input? Or do we have to
There
wait
is
till
public input at 8 o'clock,
8 o'clock?
yes. Or once we get to that agenda item. Thank you. All right,
I don't think I have anything more right now.
all right. We'll move forward with health insurance.
Yeah.
Ready to go there?
So we have a couple of authorizations we need from the board to do some health insurance things. And these are new, because if I can just, I'll condense the conversation real quick. We're moving to self-insurance. We've talked about this at board levels because of the school care stuff. We've gone to self-insurance. So that means we are doing some of this stuff instead of school care doing it. So one of those is making sure that our HRA is properly funded. So we need the board to make a motion. If you click on that link, we have written out the motion we need you to do. So this is our contractual obligations for HRA that we're gonna set aside essentially in its own account, right? We know exactly the amount of money because it's a contractual obligation that we have. And we can spend up to this money to cover our employees' HRAs.
And
So
this is coming
already
out of the
budgeted.
benefits pool?
Yes, this is already in the budget. It's part of people's health insurances. It's part of the whole cost associated with it. This is part of the portion that we pay of our staff's things. Reason we've never done this before, because we were part of school care previously and not self-insured. Self-insured, we're managing the money ourselves. So,
Yep. It's a new world.
it's a new world.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve $201,000 for HRA benefit for FY '27.
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Mr. Shoemaker. Additional discussion on this one? All right, Mr. Shoemaker.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Mr. Plansky?
Aye.
And Mr. Peoples?
And just for
4-0.
the board's awareness, this doesn't all come out at one time, right? Like, it's over
Right,
the
it's
course
drawn.
of the year, we will draw on this money.
So is there a way in the financial reports, I mean, it's gonna be a whole new ask here, right?
Yes,
So
it's-
in the
yes.
financial reports, can we get a
You're going
tab
to. Yep,
where we can track this, so 201 start, and these are the draws?
Yeah.
that's coming up in like 3 items.
Okay, all right, good. All right, good.
All right, so next up, we have retiree benefits, same thing. So before, instead of, we have to essentially take the money from the New Hampshire Retirement Assistant and then pay it out to the insurance company that is managing our retirees' insurance stuff there. So we have to kind of be, for lack of a better descriptor, the middleman and facilitator of those coverages for our retiree people, again, because we're self-insured at this point. So we need a motion for that next thing there, if you click on it. And this is to take the money in from the New Hampshire Retirement System and then pay it out. It's just going in and out. We're not making, we have to accept the money as revenue, and then we have to pay it out for the health insurance. So it's like a wash. We're not winning or losing any money on it.
School board
What's the
approves.
number?
It's all dependent on what their particular health insurance is. So like, if the, I'm gonna use made-up numbers, right? If the retirement coverage from New Hampshire Retirement System for a retiree is $10,000, they're gonna give that $10,000 to us, and then we're gonna pay it out to Harvard Insurance, who does the retiree thing. So 1 for 1, in and out. But the New Hampshire Retirement System can't themselves give it to Hartford. They need the school district, because now we're the insurer.
Okay.
Any other questions on this one? All right, I'll make a motion to approve the retirement's benefit payment authorization.
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Mr. Shoemaker. Additional discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Oh, we gotta do a roll call.
Oh, sorry, roll call vote. Mr. Shoemaker?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Mr. Plansky? And Mr. Peoples? Yes, that carries 4-0. Before we move to salary and benefits, just while I think about public comment, is there any other public comment this evening if I were to move that up on the agenda?
I have no issue.
Just for the purpose
Fine.
of your
I'm
evening?
I'm fine moving the public comment up.
If you want to come on up.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I was just thinking, why
40
why
minutes
have
is
it
a long-
later if there's.
40 minutes is a long time to
Yeah,
have
I'm
to
like,
say.
why have it later if we can have it now?
Yeah.
So just name and address, please.
Okay, sure. George Lavash, 13 Pearson Street.
Thank you.
So I was watching at home, and I saw you talking about the $800,000 was it underspend? Is that what it's?
Yes, that was our starting point.
And you're spending $455 less whatever you're taking out of the impact fees for the parking lot. When you started mentioning putting money towards a solar fund for a potential buyout, it was mentioned that the town voted down some of the solar stuff previously. I think if you were to do that, put money, earmark it out of an underspend and put it into a budget for something that we've already voted down, it would not look very good. All right, so if you were to put, say, 200,000 in there, you're talking about giving us back 200,000. The town voted down a warrant article for $200,000 to fix our roads. If we had the 200,000 that you're gonna give us back now, maybe we could have done the roads. You guys have an 800,000 overspend this year. I don't know if that's. Underspend, sorry. Under.
Over would be bad.
If that's typical, I haven't really been paying attention,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
to
a
your
good
budget.
question.
So if we have, and is your total budget like 20 million or something like?
27.
27 million? So it's less than a 5% underspend. So I get that, but $800,000 is a lot of money, especially when our roads are deteriorating and the townspeople are feeling, you know, a tax crunch. So it's kind of interesting to see that we have a budget process, and I'm in the Conservation Commission, and our budget is, you know, looked at, very scrutinized, and you guys are now throwing around money left
Much
and right.
different numbers, yeah.
Right. And I know you have a job to do and you have to update the schools and stuff like that, but it's just kind of weird that we have a budget process that we go line item by line item, and then we're spending money like drunken sailors. Not really, but you know what I'm getting at. So my major point, though, is if you were to earmark money for the solar fund, I think that would be a big mistake.
Okay, that's fair. Just in terms of the underspend, because you mentioned that you haven't followed in years past.
Right.
The district has returned millions of dollars in this past several years. This is actually the lowest projected that we've returned in the last 5 that I can remember. Right? One year it was 1.3, 1.4 that we returned. Last year, how much was it?
I think we ended up after school care was.
890, it was like
Almost
$900,000.
$900,000, right? So,
A couple of things though, because you made some really good points. So I was not of the opinion, like, we were not about to action solar panels.
No.
Just to be clear. It would have been, what would have happened was, at some point, we're going to have a conversation, because what we weren't, I don't know that any of us were on the board at the time that was voted on.
Right.
But nonetheless, we are going to be stuck with solar panels that will have to be paid off. And so at some point, we're going to have to figure that out. So that would be something that we would be presenting to the public to say, hey, look, we have to come to you for this at some point. So this is one mechanism.
just to jump in, right, that's gonna be in 6 years, and it's gonna
Right.
be about a $600,000
Yeah.
payment, lump sum that we have to figure out.
So just to
Right,
be clear,
but-
we're not,
No, I know, but I thought I heard something about we have that fund that we have to fund it, and we were thinking about
so
possibly.
we will have to fund it.
No, I get that, but the town has to fund it, and you
Right.
deciding to fund it from an underspend.
No, but again, that's not, my
We
point is
wouldn't be
we're
able
not.
to do that without the town.
Right, we're not
Okay.
talking about, I just want to be clear, like, we wouldn't be like, and that's what we're going to do, and it's
So
determined now.
that mechanism, it's
Yeah.
a great question you bring up, and just to help like clarify and put people's mind at ease.
Sure.
Like, we can't even create that fund without an affirmative vote
It has to
from
be a warrant.
the town. So like, we're talking about like the hypotheticals as like,
something we can offer to the town as a mechanism for offsetting that cost.
As they should.
Okay, so you would come up with a warrant article saying that we'd like to put 200,000 or some number
Right,
into
yes.
this fund, and oh, by the way, we gave you back this money last year.
That's all part of the budget process, so as we go through the budget hearing and the deliberative.
Yeah.
That's all explained there.
Okay, so I just heard you said we have to fund the solar panels, and I thought you were gonna use some of this year's money. Okay,
No.
so that's what got me here.
Sure. The only other thing
that's-
that you mentioned too is I just want to be clear that when we talk about the roads, right, like the town budget and the school budget are two separate budgets.
Yes.
So
No, I understand that, but there was a
we
warrant.
can fund up to the.
There was a warrant
There,
article.
there was a
200,000.
warrant article
Yeah,
to
absolutely
spend
right.
$200,000 to fix roads, and
Right.
that failed.
Right.
So that means that the taxpayers in this town, don't want to spend $200,000 fixing the roads, because the taxes were high enough. And so, I just want to let you know that $200,000 is a fairly large amount of money as far as the taxpayers are concerned. It,
Yeah.
it seems to be.
Yeah, and that's
So-
why we put those warrant articles on. Like, we kind of like, not necessarily rushed through it, but when we were first talking about end of the year, we mentioned that we have warrant articles that we need to fund, right? And those were ones that were approved by the voters, and that's where we started from. So if we were ever to do anything solar related, it would have to be that affirmative from that.
And like I said, I was listening to it, I heard it, and I
Very good
may have
question.
missed something on the ride, okay, but that's.
Well, I
just
appreciate
wanted-
you coming down
I wanted
when
to
you
make my
heard it.
point about that, yeah. Okay, and that's it.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay.
Thanks, George.
Any other public comment? Please, come on up.
I do feel we're bringing this one
Just
up
name and
since you've
address.
been talking about.
Just name and address, please. Yeah, thank you.
Andy Sanum, 4 McQuestion Circle, Litchfield. I know you have the lacrosse on
Yes,
the
yes.
agenda, yes. So I'm actually here to support him a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm the assistant coach for Alvern's girls lacrosse team.
Okay, great, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, but I live in Litchfield, and Ray Peoples knows me. I was a selectman with him in this town. So I am in support of the combining the two schools. Right now, tonight, at PMA, there was a Hudson Litchfield girls lacrosse team, combined team that playing in the New Hampshire Tomahawk Summer League that just happened tonight. I hope the board looks at it objectively for the future of all the future of both programs. I think would be beneficial to both organizations. I think Litchfield and Hudson have had a unique, a good relationship over the years. I mean, they got the Hudson Litchfield Bears football team that's always been together throughout the years. Actually, when lacrosse first started in Litchfield, it was a joint, even at the youth level, it was a joint Hudson Litchfield program, and then it sadly broke away. But it originally started that way. I know that there was some worry about playing at different levels in the divisions. As the assistant coach, and I one of my jobs was to look at, across the board and look at different things, because we do control our schedule a little bit. And we can get teams on that. And I can tell you that there are teams in Division III that can beat D1 teams. There are teams in D1 that should not be in D1. They should be in D3. There is such a large range. Girls lacrosse and boys lacrosse are very popular sports in New Hampshire, especially with the travel programs. And a lot of the teams have a lot of players on those travel programs. If a team has travel players on those programs, those teams are powerhouses no matter what division they are. So you can be in D3 and get pummeled, and you can be in D1 and get pummeled just based on the teams you're playing against. So it's not going to be.
Says hello.
Huh?
Mr. People says hello.
So playing in a different division, so I've been looking at the different teams and working with the head coach who actually teaches at Campbell, of looking at the teams that we're planning already on the Alvern side to get on a schedule to be more of a, more of an equal program to try and get to like a 500 record, which would be, would be better, just for the kids' morale and all that
Right.
stuff. But as a combined program, I mean, we scrimmaged Campbell this year at the beginning of the season, and we lost. But combined between Campbell and Alvern, we could be a competitive team.
Do you have availability to stay for a short time?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
I'd love for
I
you
wanted to answer questions and all
Yeah,
that.
I'd love for you to
And-
join
and
the table with the athletic director.
One of the things, just so you know, is that we have a ref shortage too in the state, especially on the girls program. And I think part of this combining all the teams into trying to make bigger divisions and all that is because of the ref shortage. And I think they want to reduce the amount of playoffs and things like that. We don't know for the fact, as a fact yet, but I think some of that has to do with that. So I know, I feel weird giving the public input now with
No, it's
you
good.
guys covering all the financial stuff, but.
It's good. I mean, we're gonna get to this in, I'm gonna say 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
If not sooner. So I'd love for you to be invited back up with the athletic director and let's have an open discussion.
Yeah, sure.
A few other things to get to just before that, though.
Yeah, no
All right,
problem.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we have payroll authorization.
Yep, annual
Right.
payroll authorization. If you click on that link, it will tell you the amount. The motion.
Yep. So just before they do that, I'm going to close public input, right? And we're going to move back to the superintendent update, payroll authorization. So we have payroll authorization for the fiscal year 27 budget. This is the annual letter or annual report, really, that the board signs, which authorizes the district to spend payroll only for the next year, right? And so this is $14,363,019. I'll make a motion to approve. Second by Mr. Shoemaker. Additional discussion? Roll call vote. Mr. Shoemaker? I am an aye. Mr. Peoples? Mr. Plansky?
I'm an aye.
And Mr. Peoples? Aye. Okay, that carries 4-0.
Before we move too far away from the health insurance stuff, the switchover is it tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, we're coming right to it. It's the next thing,
Oh,
so we
okay.
can roll right into it.
Medical and dental.
There you go. Yeah, so we start our new insurance plan tomorrow. So we've been implementing it over the past couple of months. We will save you all the details because it's a lot. But the big picture thing is we are starting it tomorrow, ready to go. So all cards have been set up, HRA cards have been set up, all the accounts have been set up, everything's ready to go. So we're going to do like an excessive amount of tracking for this, for everyone's sake. So we have a budgeted amount for benefits, obviously, in the budget, so that's what we're working within, but we've never done this before, so we're going to be tracking. So we're going to be sending the board quite a minimum weekly and possibly even daily with some of the HRA stuff. Tracking mechanism. We'll set up a spreadsheet, or we've been setting up a spreadsheet that kind of does this, so we can follow the use. Obviously, you want to know specifics. We have stuff we have to protect for HIPAA and everything, but so you can kind of see how this is
Like a
going.
self-help, right? Send us the
Yeah.
link, we save it, self-help.
Yep. And so we're going to be tracking all of this to kind of get a good sense of what it is. We can do these kind of motions for HRA stuff, which is good because they're set amounts, but we don't have the set amounts yet for health insurance because it's a new system for us. So we're learning, we're kind of building the plane as we're flying it right now. Everyone has been great, but as we've reached out to legal people, to our auditors, to the insurance people, we are the pioneers. So like we are doing this. We are the first really non-city oriented public school district tackling this. So there is definitely, I won't say challenges, but like,
There's
people
a
are like,
learning
well,
curve.
no one's ever done
There's
this
a learning
before,
curve, that's all.
So
So we just have to lean heavily on our consultants,
Yep.
right? I mean, because they, even though it's a different budgeting cycle, but they are working with a lot of schools, so, that are private schools. So we need to make sure that we are checking in with them and
Yeah.
they're actively involved.
Yeah, I mean, a good example of this is, they were like, well, we're just gonna, take the money as we need. We're like, nope, we're a public entity. You
Right.
cannot just take our money. Like, we need things signed off on. We need to produce manifests for our board. We need these signatures. And they were like, oh, yep. So we got to get together and like square this issue out and figure out what's the cycle and what's the time. Like, if you're going to need to do this on this day, then we need this thing by that day. And then we need to get this approved before you can do that. So it's been a lot of working on that. Julie's been great at that. Holly's been great at that. And Ann and Lisa. And we've been kind of chipping away at that. But we are making the flip tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we'll knock on wood. We think we've thought of everything.
Has
that
everyone
there's
got their new
connected to that.
insurance cards?
Everyone's gotten insurance cards. They got mailed out. The HRA cards, I believe, arrived as well. I haven't heard otherwise yet.
Right.
So everyone's got their stuff. We've had some great questions like, hey, my kid's going to college. How do I get an extra card? Okay, let's figure that out. You know, like those things come up. That's an easy one to answer, but just in general with our staff. And so we're off and running. We'll see how this thing goes. So.
Yeah, so just want to acknowledge, like, we know this is a huge undertaking for you guys, and you guys are the first ones to be doing this, and Holly too, like, if she happens to be listening, like, we know poor Holly going through the process was like, you could see the life drain from her face, recognizing how much work it was gonna be, but it's,
And there's a number of people.
Oh,
yeah, but it's a huge benefit, we think, to the district, so we appreciate the extra work on that. I want to make sure, it sounds like the reporting sounds great. I want to make sure, one of the most important things for this to be successful is the consultant said that they would be working with us to track, for planning purposes, for budgeting
Yep.
moving forward. So we just want to make sure
Yeah, I mean, there's launching it tomorrow, and then now start paying the bills as they come in. And then, pretty quickly, it's gonna be figuring out that piece, right? Like, different than how it's been in previous years when we worked with, like the school cares of the world, where they just gave us a rate, right? Like, we're gonna have to use our consultants, use our TPAs, and develop that budgeting mechanism as we go in the fall, using our actual data that we're doing. So this will be a new kind of experience for us, but that's why this tracking part is going to be so incredibly important, so we know what we're doing. And we are protected. Again, we've gone over this previously, but like, there's an absolute max that doesn't exceed what we've budgeted for health insurance, for benefits, but specifically health insurance, right? So we did this within that threshold there. Like, if something catastrophic happened to one of our people, like, we are protected. We're not at that level of risk, right? Like, because of the captives and other things that we're in. But we'll see how it goes. The point is to eventually save money in health insurance, and provide, honestly, better coverage to our people, so, in the long run. So there we are. We're tracking it. We're going. We'll probably have this on the agenda next week, because we'll have a week under our belt and like be able to be like, all right, after a week, this is what it looks like. Like, let's go from there. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay. It's supposed to.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine.
It's always fun. It's fine. All right. I'm going to turn things over to Julie.
Yes, please.
Step out for once.
I think we've actually gone through most of my items. The one thing that we hadn't on my report would be that we did have the Board of Selectmen approve the district's proposed town-to-school payment schedules for the first half of the fiscal year. So we are all set for that. The rest of that is determined once we make our final revenue locked in the fall with the DRA, and then the final tax rate is set. And as one thing that you did allude to as far as solar goes,
Yep.
that's the only other thing I had.
Yep.
KW Management was scheduled to do the work last week. They were gonna do the digging the trench under the driveway and laying the conduit so that they could later connect the battery. And then once we realized, that's probably not gonna be a good idea, that could potentially be an issue with the paving company, with the LMS project, so we wanted to make sure that that was squared away. So we did ask Continental if they were okay, talking with them as far as finding the best solution to how we address that, because KW Management was like, we don't want to have to go through a brand new road,
Right.
if you've done all this work, so they are going to work together to finish that.
Okay. All right, but the plan is still to get this done before school starts.
Yes.
Is the container here? Is it in the United States? Is it built?
The batteries are,
It's in the Straits of Hormuz.
they've been shipped, I've heard. I don't have any confirmation on,
Maybe we can get that tracking number and,
yeah, actually,
Watch
my
daily
apologies,
progress.
I misspoke. They did not ship. The last I heard from her, which I think was a week ago, I wasn't able to, circle back with Kay. She did say that the batteries actually had not shipped yet. They were supposed to ship, I think we said like mid-May was what we were told.
So they're running late, therefore they're not gonna be here in time for school.
Correct.
There you go.
but we need the pad done anyway, right?
Yes.
We need the pad, we need the container.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
And that was all I had. I think everything
All right,
else
yeah,
was-
number 2 and number 3 were addressed already.
Yes.
No curriculum tonight, public minutes from June 10th. Everyone have a chance to take a quick
We
look at them?
can't action those because I was not here
No,
and
it
we
was,
dropped off.
Let me see.
Have to
Yep,
wait till the next
okay,
meeting.
so June 10th minutes will be tabled to our next meeting when we have a more representative board. Old business enrollment, looks like we're hanging at 67.
Yeah, rumors we're getting a 68th. I don't think it's reflected here, but we got a call.
Okay,
So we might be going to 68.
all right, good.
So we would need 8 or 9 more, right, to get to?
Yeah, we would still need a bunch more to kick into that extra fifth teacher and stuff like that, but we're securely with the 4, which I think, you know,
We'll probably
worried
finish?
me a little bit. What's that?
We'll probably finish with just 4 teachers.
I would imagine unless there's some sort of influx here in a week or two in front of school.
Okay.
And if that's, then we'll deal with that problem.
There's a GMS update for old business?
Yeah, we met with, small crew of us met with Harriman and Harvey last week, 2 weeks ago, sometime. They're progressing quite well on all of the plans and everything like that. They're working into the, the electrical plans and all those secondary plans, not just the architectural part. Doing that work, the studies are getting completed that we need to get studied.
Oh, so were they able to get to those vernal pools before they dried out?
They're setting it up and getting the people in, so it looks like those are gonna get done right now. And we're making good progress, still on target to have a final project with pricing for everybody in the budget session. Our plans to deliver that is to have plans to go over with everyone over the month of September and then have the final project for when we turn over the budget there.
So how much time do we need for bonding?
Well, I mean, we got in the process last year with the attorney, and she can carry over a bunch of the bonding agent or bonding, whatever she's called. And she can carry over all that initial information, so that saves us some time. So it really comes down to the number, and then that's it. So once we have the number, she can kind of keep going forward. I guess we'll do that approval of working with her and everything like that when the time comes. But as long as we stay with the same person, all that initial legwork is already done because we did it last year, and she was able to carry over the information.
We want to go into that budget cycle with options, right, and optionality to be able to
Yeah.
talk about and
Yep.
to be able to figure out, are we doing a 15-year, 20-year, 25-year? What are
Yep.
what are the options for rates? What does that look like for
Yeah.
payments and
Yeah. Yep.
everything?
How are we doing against money that we've authorized versus the bills that have been coming out for this work that's been?
So far, it is connected. I did, on the financials, there's this tab, so we've been, just have the tracking there. And actually, the studies, are gonna be a little bit cheaper, the two that they're doing together. It's cheaper than the overall cost.
The quotes that, it's very good that we're getting quotes that are coming in, or the actuals are coming in under the quotes. We very much appreciate that.
That is very nice.
Yeah, I think the next question that we want to start to get ahead of is, again, re-engaging community for outreach, and getting back on calendars for people, for the various communities, right? So
Yep.
we want to keep that communication going. It's been a minute since we've connected.
Yeah.
Post-March, right?
So that brings us back to that video thing, right? Because I do think that, now that things are really starting to gear up, we don't want to be stuck trying to do that piece of it going into budget season. Like, we want to have that well-defined, and, I mean, if there's work to be done during budget season, that's fine, but we don't want to be defining that outreach.
Yeah, so we're meeting with the video guy Monday, me and Dan, to talk about, different options, again, we had met with him in the spring, paused it, I think we talked about it here.
Yeah.
Paused it, So we pick it back up later. Later has arrived. So we're meeting Monday with, his name's Eric, with the video guy to start mapping out different options about what that kind of public outreach through that avenue is, right? In addition to redoing the website. I have not looked at it, so I don't know if it's even been done yet. But we asked Emily, who's working on the website, to update the website with newer information, everything like that. So when the time comes, we can push that back out again and stuff. So
Okay.
making progress.
Yeah, I don't know if it's him that would help with this, but we definitely need like a defined outreach plan going into.
So let's
the-
talk about that next week.
Yeah.
All right, so we have our meeting on July 8th. It sounds like you're meeting with this gentleman early next week, so let's put that on the
But
agenda.
maybe if you're
next
meeting with him, it's a component to beyond just like the video, like
Yeah.
I don't know if that's in his wheelhouse or not, but.
We'll ask.
Cool. Anything else on GMS at the moment? Just, yeah, let's start to
Yeah.
pick it up again. Let's start to see some things. Let's start to, right, get some.
You want, I can, well, I don't know if I could, I'll ask if I can share some plans.
Yeah, I mean, the board needs to start to understand the work that's happening.
Yeah, let me see if I can get those latest ones, and maybe
Okay.
I can sneak that in for next week.
Okay. All right, CHS Girls Lacrosse, I'd like to invite the athletic director and Coach Andy up to the table. All right, so we have the proposal, the board's been talking about, and as we heard during public comment, a combination of Campbell Lacrosse with Alvin Lacrosse, which would make the co-op a D1 program. We have had some debate. The board has discussed some pros and cons of this. The superintendent has shared thoughts on this. Yeah, so that's kind of where we land. I think the district and they're looking for direction from the board on how we want to proceed. Just given kind of where the program needs to, what needs to happen. Why does tonight need to be the night for a decision?
Because then we gotta start with the NHIA doing scheduling and planning and everything like that.
That's it.
So, I don't know if I've shared my comments publicly, and I think it's just right that I do so publicly, just so people know where I stand on it. I am in support of this co-op. I mean, I truly wish, no offense, that we weren't in this situation, that we had a program that was 25 kids deep, even more, and that we could run varsity and JV teams and do all that stuff. I am a proponent of being singular at all costs, if you can be, right? But I think I think this is a safety thing is where I come down to, right? Like we experienced it this past year, due to unfortunate circumstances, but by the end of the year, we really didn't even have enough girls to have a team, right? Due to injuries and other kind of situations that were going on. And that's an incredible safety risk. And I know that's a huge component and a concern that some people have about this is playing in Division I and the safety connected to that. And I do want to address a couple of those things real quick, and I think you hit on it yourself, and I'm going to agree with you. For those people who don't know, I'm on the boys lacrosse committee for the NHIAA, so I'm familiar with lacrosse, and there's a lot of similarities. The games are completely different, but in terms of the operational stuff and some of the things we observe from the state level, that they kind of overlap. And that competitiveness is true in boys as well. Your top Division I schools and your top Division III schools are competitive with each other. Once you leave that tier, that top 3 or 4 in each of the 3 divisions, everyone else is kind of competitive with each other, right? Like in girls specifically, Portsmouth's the best. It's not even close, you know, and they're in Division I. They petition up to Division I to play there. But Bow, who is, you know, runners-up or winners of Division III all the time in girls, kind of scrimmaged them to a standstill, right? They've beaten them in the past. They've been close like that. That competitiveness in lacrosse in this state is not necessarily school size dependent. And I think that's because of all the travel programs. They all play with each other all the time, right? I think it's a valid concern. We should not be talking about football, going play in Division I football teams, right? Like that's a concern. But I think because, look, girls lacrosse does not have the physicality that a football has or anything like that. And because what you can actually build by co-oping is depth to your program, right? Right now, our team is so small, we're putting freshman and sophomore girls on the field immediately at the varsity level, right? And by having a larger collection of kids, you're waiting sometimes to put that 14-year-old freshman on the field with 18-year-old seniors, right? And you're allowing that kid to develop a little bit more, which ultimately makes it a safer environment for the student, right? So that is kind of the advantage about having a larger program and kind of addresses some of those safety concerns. From a competitiveness, I think if you take, 5 or 6 Alvin girls, 5 or 6 Campbell girls, and now you got 11 of them on the field at the same time, they're going to be competitive with 50, 60, 70% of Division I. Like, they really are. We have some really talented girls on our team. I just don't know if we have the depth, and I'm assuming it's the same thing in Alvin. You don't have the depth, right? But you have some talent, and you can put them together, and they will be competitive with the vast majority of that division. Are we ever beating Portsmouth? No. No one is beating Portsmouth, right? Like, are we ever beating
That's not
Bow?
the attitude.
Well, maybe down the road, but like, even we could co-op Campbell and Alvin right now. We're not beating Bow in Division III, right? Like, we're not at that tier right now in girls lacrosse. So I understand that concern, and I think it's something to talk through, but I do think, this does actually produce a safer environment for our kids. That's just my opinion and observations of being involved in lacrosse on the boys' side of things. We see it on the boys' side too, right? Like, there's the top teams in Division I, it's the same 3 or 4 teams always at the top, and 1, 2, and 3. Like, there's no difference, right? And trying to sort it out, we would love to just jam them all together in a super division, but like, it's not how it works. I think they're trying to do that. We've had discussions. How do we force the issue and make some of the bigger schools, or not necessarily bigger, but a real true competitive division, and then a different type of competitive division that's not necessarily based on size. We haven't figured that out yet. But lacrosse is tricky. Hockey's another sport, which we co-op in already. This is tricky like this, right? Like, where you're trying to find the right balance of keeping people safe and competitive, recognizing that size is not the correlation to competitiveness in the program and stuff. So
Yeah, like girls' hockey, there's only one division.
there's only one for girls hockey. I mean, boys, we co-op, but because we're co-oping with 2 smaller schools, we stay in a smaller subdivision. And hockey is just it's a beast that makes this stuff look simple. But we do have experience co-oping in this district. We co-op for hockey. So it's not unheard of for us to do.
I think the other challenge, just for board consideration and awareness really, is currently the girls lacrosse program at Campbell no longer has a coach. Right?
Right.
And so at this point, going into next season, there's no coach for the team. Not saying that can't overcome that, but it's certainly a consideration as we think about moving forward. I have a player on the team, right? She didn't play this year. She's one of the girls that were one of the 5 that were injured for the season, right? And we're part of the reason why they were short.
Yep.
She actually just had surgery 2 weeks ago, right? So, but nevertheless, there are pros and cons, right? They want to play, but they want to do so in a way where it is encouraging them to grow and to learn the sport, to your point. I am very concerned that the model might backfire. And it's kind of one of these things where, I'm open to seeing how it works, but what if it doesn't work?
Yeah, so you do have the ability. There's good, proper practice, right? If something is not working at any point, we can pull the plug on it. Well, not mid-season. You're not going to do that mid-season to anybody. But if you got through a season and a co-op is not working, and Tony might yell at me here because he's the AD here, but yes, you can split up a co-op. You might get NHIA a little bit mad at you. They've been mad at me plenty of times over my career. They get over it. But it's not a good practice we can do. When we do a co-op, we are partnering with that school, and we want to be respectful of that. But yes, if you are in a observationally working at the high school level for years and years, and seeing different programs at different schools and opponent schools and stuff like that, I've seen every scenario with co-ops. I've seen schools outgrow co-ops because it has generated interest, and then the 2 schools no longer need to co-op because they can build their own teams, they can field their own teams. That is the ultimate success for
Right, I would think that would be the goal, right, is to eventually do
That is
that.
always the goal for every
and
co-op
that's
program.
that's the
to grow
goal
enough.
is
Yes.
they build to the point where we can once again become
It's
2
to split
strong
back up.
independent programs.
And that's because you've gotten the interests, you built that JV team, that varsity team, that feeder system, your middle school program grows at the same time, and I'm speaking about both towns in this case, and all of a sudden, you can legitimately field a team of 16 to 18 girls yourself, right? And when that happens, let me tell you, NHI is a lot more favorable of you splitting. right? You know, they like that. That's the point of the co-op, is to grow. But I've seen other things where co-ops have dissolved because literally one school is not providing any more kids to the co-op program, right? And that's always the fear, like if you're not, and I think it's a genuine concern, but I don't know, maybe concern's too strong. Like I take pride in representing my school. Does some of that go away if I'm in a co-op situation? Now, we try to address these things by making them kind of hybrid names, like Brinity is the girls' hockey one that Bo is a part of, because it's Bo, Brady, and Trinity, so they're Brinity, and they're always called Brinity, and they have these really funky, crazy uniforms that incorporate all three logos, and it kind of looks ridiculous, but they take great pride in it, and they grew the program and stuff like that, and it's really good. Here we would have to come up with some sort, like they're not going to wear Alvern uniforms, they're not going to wear Campbell uniforms, they're going to wear some sort of uniform that combines the teams and the schools. Some people take the lazy way out and call it like a Campbell Alvern name. Maybe we get a little bit more like creative with what we
Calvern.
call it, yeah, and what the mascot is and all those type of things. You could have some fun with it and everything. But like, yeah, that's a real thing. You're not necessarily. What's that?
Our colors are pretty aligned.
Yeah.
Different shades of red.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I wanted
that
to go
could be
with
interesting.
Maryland's colors, with the,
See, I like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
with,
that would be good.
with their checkered,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, see, you can have some fun with the type of stuff and bring it in, and really have people kind of like own the experience. I think, you know, observationally, I don't live in this community, but there seems to be crossover, right? You mentioned it before, the football program, the youth football programs are overreached here. There's a number of Litchfield Hudson things that are kind of connected, right? So it's a natural, like, kind of fit. We do hockey. We're teamed up with Pembroke, which is not natural. Like, they're all the way over there. We make it work, but it's not. This feels natural because they're 6 minutes away, right? You know, they're our neighbors anyway. So I think all the things I talk about, right? Like, I think it's something you have to, like, follow up on in future years. You know, like next year, this time, like we go forward with this time next year, we should be reporting out how the co-op did, right? And then kind of go from there and stuff like that. But it's not a forever thing, and I think the long-term goal would be to split again because both schools are really healthy with athletes in the sports.
I actually think it's very much interested in your thoughts, right? I actually think it's part of a recreation issue for us in this town, right? And what I mean by that is with the feeder programs coming into the schools, I see it as there's waves of interest, right? Where they're and I know it because I have kids in the program, right? There are girls that are because of coaching, they're really interested in softball, and so all the girls gravitate towards softball. And then another year, there's lacrosse, and then another year, it's back to softball. But then that creates ebbs and flows in the program where you have gap years for programs, right? And that's kind of what happened with lacrosse, from my experience. Is all right. Now we're seeing these girls. We have some great girls at LMS that are coming into Campbell, but then there's a gap, right? And that gap really is, I'm going to say, 6th, 5th, and going down, where there's really into 4th and lower because there's no girls that are actively playing or actively interested.
I think that's something the town's we can't make decisions for the town, but like observationally, I have a daughter and going into 4th grade next year who has played both lacrosse and softball. We started in lacrosse. She's asked to switch to softball this year, right? But kind of the cool thing about our town is both were an option from the beginning, right? And it seems like observationally, you can get into softball here like right away as a young female athlete, and you can't really get into lacrosse till middle school.
You can, but the problem is that they haven't had enough girl interest to field
Okay.
a team.
All right.
That's the issue. Is that we absolutely want that
Yeah.
for the kids, right?
Yeah.
There just hasn't been enough interest at that age group.
Okay, so that's good information to know because
But
just
you're talking about
observation.
the elementary level, like
Yeah.
third, fourth grade?
Correct.
Yeah.
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 It's kind of interesting because I've noticed that with sports across the board. Like, you know, grew up in Massachusetts, and like town hockey was like every town had hockey, right? And it was you played town hockey, and then trying to get on your high school team was like, you know, it was actually like legitimate hard to get on your high school team. And it's just that across the board, I mean, across the state, it's just different now. And I think, you know, it just comes down to like, what are kids' intentions with playing? Like, is it just, like, I just do it to keep myself busy? Is it like, it's a you know, town pride thing? Or is it, More than that, and my sister was a Division I lacrosse player. She picked it up in high school, but she was playing alongside talented girls, and that's what pushed her to be good. And I think that there's a real value. You're not doing anyone a service by spreading them too thin and then not having sort of depth on the bench to sort of push towards, right? I mean, for someone who's just looking for something to fill some time, maybe that's fine, but for people that are, really interested in the sport and want to push themselves hard and develop, you need the best opportunity for them is to be doing that alongside people who are also
Better than them,
better than them.
right?
Well, and
Somebody
it-
to chase.
Not to harp too much on that, but New Hampshire does, especially in girls lacrosse, produce Division I college players, right?
A
Like,
lot.
A lot. I worked at Bow. I think every year I was there, we had at least one girl from lacrosse team go Division I, right? Like, it's,
My daughter was a D1, had a D1 scholarship.
yeah, like, it is a legitimate opportunity for girls in New Hampshire who play lacrosse to get scholarships. Like, it's a real opportunity. Different than, I would say soccer is much more challenging, just because of the nature of where we live or whatever, but I don't know what it is, but New Hampshire produces.
The Northeast is,
Yeah,
Still-
lacrosse players,
More
so-
than softball, more than soccer.
Yeah, so I mean, I view this as,
And lacrosse, women's lacrosse still has D2 scholarships.
Right, yeah.
Before you say anything, Mr. Peoples, if you're still there hanging in, if you have any
He hung
thoughts.
up a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Just wanted to vote on the money.
All right.
I mean, the nitty gritty of this is this is to save Campbell girls lacrosse is really what it comes down to. We are not going to have a varsity team next year if we don't have a co-op. So we will have a JV schedule, which I think is super unfortunate for a lot of the girls who have put a lot of time and money into wanting to be competitive lacrosse players. I think we will lose kids like our kids who are at lacrosse is their sport. They're not going to stay here if it's a JV sport. I think that's just the reality of it. And then I don't know how you rebound from that is my concern. If we're a JV only program, I don't know how we get back to being a varsity program because you're going to lose even more girls. And then, I mean, we might not even have numbers for a JV program if that's what
Say
we
that,
end up
but I'm
having to doing.
most of these girls do club anyway, so what's it matter?
Well, and I think that's a huge issue statewide in spring is all these club sports take place in the spring, and that's what's pulling kids in all these different directions. So another benefit of the Alvern Co-op is they would practice right after school at 3:00, which frees up a lot of the girls who didn't play because we practiced at 4:35 because of our coach's schedule, and that.
And I mean, people that are playing club presumably are trying to be competitive for recruitment purposes, and I've found historically that those people are playing on 3 teams. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a much larger discussion. We're not going to save the overplaying. We'll just leave it at that. That
Yeah.
kids do nowadays.
I think that another, important
kid
thing
included.
from a more global perspective of our district is we are striving to build, excellence in education. And I think, part of an important aspect of schooling is the other opportunities we have, whether it's sports or other extracurriculars. And having a rich variety of extracurriculars is important. So I think that it fits into the model of what we're trying to achieve if we're going to be able to offer something that is going to be more competitive and more substantial. And I think the most important thing with that is just making sure that we create a culture around that, because it is a merging of two different towns for that purpose.
I don't know,
They
every
do
time
play
I,
together a lot though, right? They're all playing on similar teams in similar leagues.
But importantly, though, if we were to say to them, hey, listen, you guys you're just on the Alvern team now, it doesn't preserve any identity for them. And I do think that if we can, have some sort of joint identity that is.
Yeah, I think you'd have to do that. The two schools would have to sort of come together with something that they're
It
all.
sounds like too, Alvern, I'm, 'cause some of the preliminary conversations we've had, and I think what's kind of cool about this co-op is it sounds like we might actually share game field stuff, right? We'll play games at Campbell.
Yes,
right?
we would play
We'll
some games at
games
Campbell,
Alvern,
we'd
we'll
play some games at
Campbell.
Alvern.
Where, often in co-ops, you just play at one school, right? And that becomes the home. But I think the uniqueness, again, of being so close, right? The schools are physically so close, is we can generally, host it, right? You know what I mean? At the same time, like it's a 5-minute,
The
6-minute
coach
ride.
wants to have practices at both locations
I mean,
too.
for the coach, you said you're assistant coach, you live in town, and then Molly teaches at our high school.
Yeah.
It sounds like maybe it's more convenient.
I mean, yeah.
He hosts everything here, you know?
Although, like,
so-
you know, the shared resource thing too, it's been no secret that we've had trouble, like, everyone's having trouble with trainers and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
so-
oh, yeah.
So sharing resources for stuff like that.
I think it's a valuable exercise or experiment to see if this can work. Otherwise, you're just gonna leave a bunch of kids on the
Plus,
sideline. It's not-
Elton has, we get indoor time too, beginning of the season,
Yeah, over at,
Tingsboro.
yeah.
Sounds like the board's in favor, you know, we'll see how it goes, right? My biggest hesitation is, like, I want the girls to be motivated to continue to play, and it's just, I have to see how it works out, right? But I want the girls to have an opportunity to play, right? And the reason why I'm gonna be supportive of it is, if I don't vote yes, I don't see an opportunity for them to play at all, right? And that's my biggest challenge with it.
Yeah, I guess my ask would just be to really focus on the creating, like, making this a big culture thing, you know, working jointly with Alvern to make a big culture thing, to make it exciting and,
Yeah.
you know, I think that's the best that we can do.
All right, I'll call it. Those in favor for making a co-op of Litchfield girls lacrosse with Hudson Alvern?
A roll call?
We'll do a roll call vote. Mr.
Aye.
Shoemaker?
Right.
Aye, and aye. I never made a motion in a
Sounds like-
second. but-
Yeah, it sounds like Andrew was.
Second.
I made a motion.
Second.
was second.
Shoemaker
Aye.
was second.
That's what it sounded like.
Three
to me.
ayes. I'm like, wait a minute, I think we did that wrong.
I was willing to follow you blindly, so.
It's getting late, so, long day. All right, here we go.
Thank you
guys.
for that.
Thank you.
That carries 3-0. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
guys. All right. We
Alright.
have
I
the
have
van
one last-
proposals.
Yeah, just one last bit of old business, and that is vans, my favorite subject, legitimately, I love vans. I just need board's guidance on this, is what it is. We can fund vans out of our FY '27 budget. We have done all the math for it. We can purchase the vans, take care of the gas. You can click on that link and you can see the whole proposal. And we can do this depending on availability of buying them from merchants, which last time we checked, which was a month ago at this point, they had 4 on the lot that were for sale and stuff like that. We're not looking to buy 4, but if we were to buy 2 vans, we have it completely covered in our budget next year. And then in the FY '28 budget, we could start to reflect those savings of having our own vans. Now, we can do this now, or we can hold this off and talk about it through the budget process next fall.
Have you budgeted for maintenance?
Yes.
So are we gonna show an offset with the bus costs?
Next year.
If we could do it in the
Well, it would be for
FY,
next-
it would be in the FY '28, so when we were working on the budget in the fall,
Yeah.
we would show that difference because we would have the vans.
Right, because I think that this is a pitch we're gonna have to make to the budget committee to be accepting of this.
Well, this would be,
But we have
It's
it,
not-
that's what I mean. We
It's
have
not
it.
necessarily a pitch, it's already transportation costs that were
Yes.
budgeted, it's just a different type of transportation.
I mean,
Different mode of
my opinion is
I like the idea of it, because I think it's gonna save us a bunch of money.
100%. I think
But
that,
who's gonna drive the vans?
This is part of the plan. So we've been working with both First and state and legal for all this. So there's a certificate program that any drivers have to get completed. So as part of this proposal, we have in there a $200 stipend for people to become certified to drive this. It's not a separate license. If you were to drive something that classified as a bus, and this is why the size of the van is very important, right? We need 12 passenger vans. Because 15 starts to qualify as a bus, and that's a totally different license and gets really expensive. The 12, you just have to go through the certificate program, right? It's 10 hours to get the certificate. We got to compensate people for that time and energy. And then we create a roster of people who can drive the buses, right? And those are the people that we kind of have it. And that roster can expand over time, you know? Like, we're going to lean on a couple people within the buildings to do like daily transportation. One of the places, like contractually, we're not obligated to use buses, is CTE, which is huge because it's a pretty big expense.
Yep.
And we're just going to Alvern, right? Like, so like doing a couple runs with the vans saves us a ton of money,
Right.
just that expense.
That for
before
me is the
even
upside.
get to
is the-
athletics.
the-
It's a-
Running a bus to
it's our
Alvern
most
for 8 kids
unpredictable,
on
it's
there.
one of our most unpredictable expenses every year. And it's one of our largest, like.
And having a child that participated in CTE last year, I can share it was a real struggle with the bus.
It was a real struggle.
It was a real struggle
Yes.
because she wasn't able to have lunch for the
Well,
entire year.
We've addressed, the new principal has addressed some of
Well,
those
I'm
issues.
just saying, right? There were a lot of like logistical challenges with the scheduling of when the bus would leave, how long she'd be at Malvern, when she would come back. I can say that for certain.
The good news is we have a gas station coming in town now, so we can actually fill it.
Well,
It's the
that's,
wrong way, though.
but but there's so I don't need board approval for this, but I would like
You wanna know
board
our
on.
feelings.
I would like your feelings, yes, because we do have some legwork we still need to do. We gotta make sure the bands are available for purchase, right? We have to work out, which we've met with first, they do this with other school districts, they're not worried, but we do have to technically work out an MOU, because we're
Taking money away from them.
potentially,
They're probably like,
right?
thank God we don't have drivers.
Well, exactly. Like, that's why they're amenable to some of the stuff. It's
We're
not
training some drivers this
financially
week, though, in the
worth
parking lot. I
them,
saw
for
them backing
them, to take 5 kids on a field trip to, Waterville Valley, right? You know, like, that's not a financial benefit to them either. So if they can get out of that business, good for them, right? So they're,
You believe that they're.
we've had conversations about it, right, yeah, already. So like, we need to work out all those details, but before like doing all those details, I would like to know the board's feelings, because once we get far in this, we're in it, right? Like,
I mean, I'm supportive of it. I think Alvern has 4 vans or 5 vans. I see them in the
Yeah.
parking lot all the
Yeah,
time.
I'm good with it. I think
Yeah.
this is a normal part of school operation.
this is where people are going with it. But we had 2 of them, we used them all the time.
I'd
You
say
know,
get them electric and let's plug them into LMS.
well, they, I mean, they have some, but one of the things we gotta talk to the town about,
No, like actually, that's actually a really good idea.
maybe.
No, like that's actually a really good
31,
idea.
I'll be plugging them in.
We have a
I've got 880 panels on that roof.
yeah.
Anyway,
And you're
okay.
never going that far.
So it sounds like you're good with us continuing
Yeah.
forward with this, and
Yeah.
as long as we get everything squared away within the confines of our budget, we do it and then reflect it.
And we do more than sports too, like this field trip stuff.
Field trips, the CTE, I think, is the thing that pushed it over, right? Like, that's I think we have something like $36,000 budgeted for CTE transportation. We're like, all of that, it's a 6-minute ride, right? If we're doing that with our own vans.
Is this a 1-year cost?
The purchase of them is a
No,
one-year
but the grand total that you have next to each sport, is that a anticipated 1-year cost?
It's an estimate, yes, so to
Yeah.
get that math.
So the
you
break
took-
even is literally like a year?
Yeah.
Now, some of the gas costs are gonna be recurring every single year, right? Like,
Right, but I mean,
and
we have
these-
recurring costs. every
right,
single
and
year.
these are all on the high end, because we took Division III, which includes places like Berlin and other places, and just took an average, like, we don't actually, rarely play Berlin.
But I mean, a break even of 5 years would still probably make sense. Like, this is just a no-brainer.
Yeah, and
These
the
new
key to
or are they
that-
used vans?
What's that?
The new or used vans?
Used, so you get them, they fluctuate in price, the ones we quoted here, I think, had about 30,000 miles on them, and were about $50,000 to purchase. If you purchase one with more miles, obviously it's a cheaper van, you try and strike the right balance of
Yeah,
what
I
you
think
get.
30,000 miles is a good point. It's lost most of its value.
Yeah, and then, you get into a cycle, we'll have to plan long-term, like a replacement cycle down the road when it hits a certain threshold. And so these gas costs are on the higher end, because when I first did this, I was pricing $4.50 a gallon, because that's what it was at the pump at the exact moment. Hopefully that comes down. And it kind of works out, so.
Great,
All right, good.
good work.
All right, we have manifest summary this evening as we wrap up tonight.
Oh, yeah, these are the
Authorization, sorry.
authorizations. Now that you've approved them, if you can sign. Manifest, I think they want.
Yeah, I have it.
You have it, okay.
Yeah, so the manifests this evening, there were a couple of accounts payable as we wrap up the year, $66,641.88. Another accounts payable of $47,937.37. Payroll manifest of $164,937.56. We had a 403B manifest, $511,864.68. As well as LSSA dues of $232.56. We're just signing a couple of pieces of paperwork that the board approved earlier this evening. And with that, any school board comments tonight? All right, we are wrapping up the school year. Thank you again to the administration for all the hard work to get the numbers straight. And, yeah, here we go, FY '27.
Let's go.
Let's go, let's go. Let's start, rinse and repeat, right?
Another rinse, repeat.
Old hat for you guys now.
I mean, we were talking about where we were last year and just, feeling much better. I guess we'll just summarize it all as that,
Trial by fire.
right? Like wrapping up last year, trying to have these discussions about end of the year stuff, everything. It was just like, wide-eyed, like trying to do it. And now I feel like we're like, we got
But looking
this.
at the
Let's
big
go.
picture, though, I mean, we are making incredible progress.
It's been a really strong year. I missed the last meeting, so I apologize. But and I know I have no idea who's even watching at this point. But it's been an awesome year. I think we're, from an operational standpoint, we've really got a handle on everything going on. We know all the moving pieces. We have plans, long-term plans for stuff, which I think is very important. And really from a student and academic, which is the most important thing. I know we talk a lot about the business side here in these meetings. Our testing across the board up, our state assessment scores, we're not done. We're far from done. We need to do a lot more work there. But to see that improvement, and that's a credit to the kids, it's a credit to our teachers, to the support staff, for everyone doing that stuff. You just, we reflected on, little things like hiring. We haven't done a lot of hiring this spring because we, have good people who want to be here, right?
Staff wanted to stay.
And
Right, because there's a huge culture change from 2 years ago.
yeah, and I think we just are hiring good people who are good teachers, who are doing a good job at what they're doing, and so they're staying, and we're making smart decisions when it comes to contractual stuff and all this other things, and I think the district's in a really healthy place. We're far from perfect, no one's gonna be perfect, but we're in a really positive direction when we have conversations with other districts and some of the problems that they're facing, whether it's student behavior, it's funny, the cell phone stuff, right? It was a non-issue for us, right?
Yeah.
In this district, it wasn't always like that in other places, but we have such awesome kids here who do what they're supposed to do and are motivated to be successful. We just have had a really, really nice year, and wonderful people working in our schools, wonderful community supporting us, and more success to come.
Just looking at one thing, on the wrestling mats, that was a 4-0-0 vote.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes our public portion of our meeting tonight. The board does have a couple of pieces of business in non-public tonight under RSA 91A3, A through C. With that, I will entertain a motion to go into non-public, please. Motion by Mr. Shoemaker.
Second.
Second by Mr. Plansky. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Shoemaker.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Mr. Plansky.
Aye.
That carries 3-0. All right, everyone, thank you very much. We are now